Are you the sort of person who's so stuck in executive dysfunction that you need to trick yourself for any little crumb of dopamine to experience something new? You're in good hands. Uh, Welcome to Unaccredited, the podcast where we give each other monthly homework, and the only grades we get are the judgments on our takes. I'm Dalton.
I'm Tommy.
Class is in session.
And boy, do we love our crumbs. Boy, do we love them.
This podcast is the crumbs.
This is the
what
crumbs. Otherwise, I would do nothing. It would be dysfunction 24/7. Yeah, love it. It's stuff like this all the time with me. It's book clubs. It's best of lists. Like it's all these things. There's like, oh, this is why you get to enjoy yourself right now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, let me write down these shows so I can trick myself to check off stuff from a list to maybe, and then it ends up being like I'm looking more forward to figuring out what my next pick is than it is the actual thing I'm doing, and
Yeah, tune in for April when my assignment is do our taxes.
Yeah.
And then we feel that little extra oomph. Yeah.
Exactly.
How you been?
Yeah, been all right. As always, let's start off with our pop quiz segment, a segment where we kind of give each other some discussion topics and go from there. And then, of course, please add your responses in the comments. We got some awesome comments last time, and I think the idea is maybe someday, even with some of those suggestions in the comments, we might even do like a office hours style episode to do them. So I'm excited to hear from you all as well. But I'll kick us off with my pop quiz, and I actually have a surprise for you, Tommy, to start. I got you, as both my friend and my DM, I got you a little holiday present.
No way.
Yeah, I got you your very own box of Doom.
No way, dude. Wait, is that the one from D20, or is that like a different Etsy one?
No, it's from Dimension 20, the box of Doom. So someday this will go to you to use as a DM.
That will get so much use. I think, yeah, I DM a group of like 7 players. Dalton's one of them. And like we've been doing it for years. I have over time learned why these online DMs do what they do, like the way Matt Mercer takes initiative or the way the box of Doom functions. Sometimes you need a moment to be like, this moment's important. This result is going to be huge, and it's a cool as hell prop too. So thank you, man. That's super cool. You'll see that the second
figure out how to get it to you at some point, but
absolutely, you might as well send it to the place where we actually run the games.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
So that leads me into my actual pop quiz assignment for us is, if in real life you could have a single cantrip from D&D, what would you do?
Cantrip being like a free little spell you can use at any time.
Right. Because giving out an actual spell, you could, break physics. But cantrips are a little more held back by the nature of them. But still, there's a lot of creative stuff.
Because as much as I'd like the time stop spell, that's not necessarily the real answer we can give in a situation like this. Because it's like, it's more fun to do cantrips. I like this question. Fun little spell. Elementalism, I believe, is the name of the spell. There are some cantrips that don't do damage. They don't help anyone. They are just there for roleplay opportunities. Just to like embellish your character. And elementalism is just like, you can create a little wisp of smoke, or you can light a candle, or you can like, do a little squirt gun of water. And it's just like, you can be the avatar, but only in like mundane, almost like, in my mind, prankstery ways. And who doesn't want to be the avatar, even if it's just a little bit? That's the
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it is for me.
There's some fun ones. There's like, what is it? Is it like prestidigitation, where it's like, oh, that would just like, I wouldn't have to clean anymore. Like that's huge. That would be a pretty huge win, right? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to pull up my If you see me moving around, that's me trying to get the rules.
Yeah, of course. Uh, there's guidance is huge. I think guidance.
Guidance
It's
would
a
be
cantrip.
huge.
You just every once in a while you say, I'm just gonna do a little bit better at whatever I'm about to do, guaranteed. Like that would be pretty good.
It would be pretty good. There's also like, spare the dying,
Oh,
stuff like
huge,
that.
actually. That actually is
If you want to
probably
be like altruistic with it.
it's probably morally wrong to choose anything else. So now we say we get two cantrips. We spare the dying and one other, just so we give ourselves the freebie.
There could be an argument that giving guidance to some of the best doctors might be more powerful than spare the dying.
I don't know. I think yeah, spare the dying is when someone's actively dying, you undo that. But
Right. I'm
it
trying to
doesn't
think like
undo
how
old
that would work
age.
with like diseases and things.
Yeah. Oh man.
Because it
Yeah.
wouldn't like cure you of poison, right? So if you're thinking of like a disease as poison,
No. Yes, spare the dying doesn't cure you. It doesn't even wake you up in game. It's just like
right?
you are not about to die. So like it really is a game of like can I jump in there in the seconds that someone is dying. So like if you're a doctor with spare the dying, you are in an emergency ward playing like whack-a-mole with dying people. Like that's best case scenario. And guidance is probably better because you're just constantly just making people better at their job.
What else I'm looking?
Create
There's things like
bonfire.
True Strike. True Strike could be something interesting. There's like Druidcraft. You could just be like the ultimate plants person.
Yes.
Um, I don't know if we'd count like an Eldritch Blast, but
Yeah.
you could
Why
like
not?
that would be a powerful one. I
That'd
don't
be
know if
pretty
it'd be the
good.
best one.
Uh,
Mage Hand.
Mage hand would
Mage
be
Hand's always
sick.
fun.
Basically you get the force. Uh,
Um,
God,
Message. I
message
don't
is
know how
fun.
you do with Message, but with a world where there's like phones, but
What's the worst one? Acid splash?
let me
Like,
find generate some cantrips. Yeah, Dancing Lights.
that's pretty good. You light up a room.
It's pretty good. Poison Spray. I mean, they're all like better than
Better than
you're just
nothing.
having magic in real life, right?
Yeah. I think sword burst is where like a bunch of swords pop up around you in case someone tries to
Oh,
attack you.
Shillelagh. That might be the
Shillelagh.
worst one. You
It
just
might
like
be.
make a thing into a weapon. It's like you could
Yeah.
just kind of do that already.
Yeah. You just yeah, I mean you could just hit people already.
Right.
Like oh like
That's
pick up a
probably
big
the worst
stick.
one.
Yeah. I never really like does Shillelagh like make a stick like a barbed stick? I guess it's a flavor thing. We'll feel it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shillelagh's
Mending could be huge.
mending would be huge. Oh my God. You could have a whole job with mending. Yeah, basically what I'm learning is that in real life, I wouldn't want any of the cantrips that hurt someone, or
Yeah.
like attack. Like I'm
A
not.
lot of the actual good ones in game. I'm like,
Yeah,
no, no, thank you.
yeah. No one would ever tell you to take mending when you're playing D&D, but in real life, mending like clears you for like entire job paths, and it's just
Or
like
just like never need to buy more clothes in your life.
yeah.
you know.
You pick one favorite piece of clothing, and then between mending and prestidigitation, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
kind of why my brain first goes to prestidigitation. It's just like that cumulative like time saved from like cleaning things might
mhm.
just be worth it in real life.
Yes. I think, honestly, now that you mention it, being able to walk up to a pile of dishes, go bippity boppity boo, and I'm done. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The hours I would get back in a week. Oh my
Right.
God. Actually, yeah, prestidigitation. Just on the, it doesn't even have to be like that you create sparks or anything. If it was just the cleaning thing,
Yeah.
instant. People hire cleaners, you know?
Right.
Like, come on. That's all in the real world. You could give me prestidigitation light and I'll be happy.
Yep.
And spare the dying in
And
between
spare the
those two.
dying, of course.
That's a great one.
And vicious mockery if you want it to be really mean.
Vicious mockery. The one where you mock someone and they take damage for it.
Yeah,
That's my favorite spell, maybe. Just at least in concept. Just
yeah.
like
I
you
imagine it
just
being like, like classic, like child. We were watching baseball, whatever, and they're like swing batter, batter. I'm thinking something like that, where you're like playing sports, and you could just be like, "Hey, you suck," and they're like, "No, I
yeah,
do,"
be the
and you
most
just,
deadly heckler in
yeah.
history. Oh my god.
It's
That's
like I don't even have to be good at this because like I went to take a shot and I told the goalie they smell and they just like collapsed on the ground and I scored.
oh my god. You just go around life insulting people. They just start collapsing left and right as you do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're playing soccer and the ref goes to give you a red card and you're just like, no, you. And they're like, no, yeah, it's me. You're right.
No, it's me. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love all the little like superhero questions. Like what's your favorite what is your like what superpower you would have and stuff like that. But the cantrip twist, I like that.
Because it
Uh
naturally, forces you into a box, which I think makes the questions more interesting.
mhm. I'll like let people make up a cantrip for my games too. Just they're like, "Hey, here's a little magic thing I want to do." And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, it won't help you in a fight, so that's fine.
Yeah,
It's just like it's stuff like, oh, I want to be able to, make paintings move. It's like, cool, you get that.
right.
I have no problem with that.
It's so
Uh,
easy to just like if you really wanted to just flavor that, like that could just be minor relation too.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
that's why it doesn't matter to say, yeah, go for it for those sort of things because like it's so
yeah,
close that they've already kind of solved anything you wanted to, anyways.
yeah. It's they've created the catch-alls. They're all in the
Right.
book. Yeah, everything you could think of exists as like 1/10 of another spell. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Uh, all right. You ready for my pop quiz?
Of course.
You have complete creative control over the next sequel, the next season, the next movie, the next video game, the next book, whatever you choose. What are you picking and what is happening?
I have to think about it because a lot of times, so I'm gonna limit out things that already have a satisfying ending because I don't like when things continue too far.
Hmm.
um, so I'm trying to think something that's open ended that I would trust myself more than I would trust the author.
That's
There's a
the
lot
other
of things
aspect of
that,
that because you
yeah,
have to trust yourself for this.
right. Because like for example, I just finished Stormlight Archives book 5, so that's
Mm,
like the halfway point in that series. But like, no way would I be like, oh yeah, I know better than Brandon Sanderson of what should happen next here. Um, so
yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Uh,
I guess
I I
what could be interesting. Oh, go ahead if you have one.
Sure. I was just gonna say I didn't come with one locked and loaded. Just talking about D&D makes me think about how much I was watching the D&D movie, thinking I could do
The
this.
newest one.
The newest one, the one with
Okay.
Chris Pine. I was like, I could do this. You could let me run this like the Marvel universe. I don't know if it would be as good. I think it would be pretty good. I think I would be able
Is
to have a pretty good
is
grasp.
Chris Pine the best Hollywood Chris?
Ooh, is that our bonus question? We get another bonus question. The
That's
best
just
Chris.
you're always gonna get tangents.
That's so funny. I remember people seeing some article that I scrolled past that was like Marvel co-workers supportive of Chris Pratt as he's voted worst Chris. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's a crazy
I think he
sentence that they
probably is though.
he might
Unfortunately.
be. Uh, yeah, I think so. I don't even think he's that bad of a Chris. He has his good
No.
Chris moments. Uh,
Yeah.
he Chrised pretty good in Guardians of the Galaxy. He Chrised pretty good in
Right.
Parks and Rec. But he didn't Chris that well
Right.
since.
It's Chris Evans.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Chris Sir Hemsworth.
Yeah. Is he a sir?
See you, sir.
I don't know. I think he's Australian. Do
I think
Australians get
he's
sirred? He's pretty
probably.
good. He's a top tier Chris Hemsworth.
He
I do
is.
like Chris Pine a lot though. I'm
I feel like
fine defaulting to him.
I feel like I would be less interested in Chris Evans without some things like Scott Pilgrim, his role there, or like his role in Knives Out, where
Yeah.
it's like it's such a kind of different take on stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, I guess this guy can be more interesting
Yeah, but he was
than
also
just pretty
great.
white guy.
He was great in like Fantastic Four
Yeah.
and Snowpiercer. He was the lead in.
Oh yeah, I
And
forget
I'm
he was
like,
in that.
I don't know. Chris Pine's fun, but uh maybe Chris
It
Evans
might
just
be
gets the better
Evans.
roles. It might be Evans.
It might be Evans.
He's Chris'd a lot, and he's Chris'd pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's my vote.
And like Christophers are lost,
Yeah, of
Christopher
course.
Reeves. You're not in this
You're
conversation.
not in this. Chrissy's absolutely not. Get out of here.
No.
Uh,
We're misogynists here. No, we're not. But at least I hope.
I can't think. Well, Chris Jenner, I don't really place very high personally.
Yeah. No.
So there you go. But that's not a Hollywood Chris.
Yeah.
That's just a Chris. You know.
I guess back to our original question. I think my answer might be the next generation of Pokemon. Not
Mm,
because I think I'm like an amazing writer. I think their stories are decent for what they are. Just because with full creative freedom, I think you could make swings that a company like Game Freak and Nintendo aren't. Um, that I think could be beneficial.
hmm. Okay. Such as.
Just say things like even like I like what they're doing with things like the Legends Arceus and Legends EA, where they're mixing up the formula and things. I'm excited for what they're doing with Champions to kind of separate story mode from competitive, because I think that's some of the limits you have is like, oh yeah, of course the legendary Pokemon of the game is going to be busted, but let it be busted here but not here, sort of
Yeah.
thing. I think those are good steps towards it, but then just pushing the barrier, of what a game can do. You look at like what Zelda's do to push the envelope every time compared to what Pokemon does to push the envelope. And if you could have Pokemon that pushes the envelope like a Zelda, I think, you know, I
Yeah.
don't think you'd probably make any more money than if you did a Pokemon that didn't push the envelope, but it'd be more enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, I it occurred to me that every generation has like one like combat twist that they like throw in.
Yeah.
You know, like whether
Yep,
it's
there's one.
the you know, megas or
Yep, in Gen
even
6.
like doubles and like items like way back in the day were like not things at
Yeah, absolutely.
the
As far as
beginning.
like battle gimmicks, Gen 5, I guess gems were kind of the battle gimmick, but that's kind of not really. It's kind of starts more with 6 with megas.
Hmm.
7 has, I mean, I guess you still have megas in 7, but
Yeah, like big
the
boys.
Z moves are the
Yeah.
kind of new thing. Gen 8 is, yeah, Gigantamax is
Hmm.
Gen 8. And Gen 9 is Terra, which Terra I wasn't sold on originally, but I do think that is actually the best one they've done.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, we could get into it in a little bit, but it seems
yeah.
to be pretty popular.
Yeah.
Uh, I definitely, uh, in my mind immediately when I hear new Pokemon generation, and this goes for like so many different games, but I want to know where it takes place or like where they're drawing inspiration from.
Right.
Where do you think your generation is themed after?
I think, and I don't think it's only a matter of time till they actually do it. I think an ancient Greece inspired generation could be really fun.
Oh, great answer. That's a great answer. Oh man. Oh, we could get
You'd
like
have it'd
a
be like a Gen 3 with a lot of islands and things, which I
Mhm.
don't think is inherently a bad thing. Because
Yeah.
you also then with a lot of islands, you could be very distinct with their terrain and elements and things. So you could obviously ancient Greece, you're not going to have a fire island next to an ice island, but in a fictional world, you could do that.
Yeah. Oh,
um,
absolutely. Oh, and you could have like a Mount Olympus kind of thing
right.
going on with the legendaries. Oh,
Right. There's
dude.
some fun story you could do there too, obviously.
That's such a good answer. Wow. Yeah. That's great. I want a gladiator starter. I
Well, that'd be
want
Rome, right?
yeah.
But you could have like a
Oh, I
Spartan.
don't know anything. Spartan, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and then like I don't know what else are we getting as starters?
I think your starters, you would go a Spartan slash like Ares, a war, really physical attack, high physical attack
Mhm.
sort of thing. I think you'd have to have like a more of a like Athena wisdom sort of special attacker. I think would be two of them. And I'm trying to think what the third balance would be. So fire would probably naturally be the physical attacker, right?
Yeah.
So water, you'd probably have the wisdom counter that. So what would counter wisdom? What would aggression be towards that counters wisdom?
Uh, what if you went like a Dionysus route, and had like
Okay.
a fairy, kind of,
Yeah, fairy grass,
yeah.
you're just kind of whimsical sort
I,
of thing. Okay,
I,
I like that.
I think you could make the kind of,
Or Pan, even. Go more
mm,
like a Pan route, where it's like a
yeah.
satyr sort of thing.
Oh, dude, a goat grass starter. Have we had one of those
Yeah.
yet? That
Not as a starter. We've had grass goats. There's goat, but
and
I
it
think if you
turns
make it more of a satyr,
and it turns into a satyr. Yes. So we've got a satyr. We've got I don't know. Uh, what's native to uh Greece, or like the story behind it.
yeah.
You
I
go
mean, there's so much
Cyclops.
you could pull. Yeah, you could pull Cyclops, you could pull Minotaurs. Obviously, you could pull
Oh,
things, but
Minotaur's
I'm trying to
good.
think what the starters would be. I don't think we need to solve this now. Um,
I mean, I would
but
spend
yeah,
the rest of this podcast
yeah,
just thinking about what
me
the
too.
next Pokemon would be. But that's a great answer. Yeah. So we're turning into that's it really is a great segue into the actual content here, because we wanted to talk about Dungeons and Dragons and and Pokemon. So
Yeah,
there you go.
sometimes we're smart.
Yeah, for whatever reason, that's where our mind is right now.
Yeah.
Uh, and with
So I guess with that, let's kick into our first actual assignment, which would be competitive Pokemon. So I want to just hand the floor to you to get kind of your thoughts on what your first experience was. And then I'll go.
okay,
Obviously, I've got more.
so just a little bit of background. Pokemon was like the first game I fell in love with, but never really did the competitive thing. Uh, so when it came to like the double Pokemon battles, right? I honestly was like glued to the screen.
Okay.
I understood what was happening once I realized what the Scarlet Violet twist was on battles. I was like,
Okay.
oh,
The
okay,
Terra.
I get what's happening. Which, for listeners, for people who don't know, that is you change the type of one Pokemon on the
Right.
field, which is
And the way
kind
it
of
works
crazy.
to be a little more like crunchy about it
Sure.
is so it's one time per battle for a single one of your Pokemon. So
Mhm.
once you pull the trigger, you can counter, other people can counter that, so you have a little bit of game there. And what it does is it changes your type. So defensively, you have those type matchups. But as far as offensively, the same type attack bonus you get, you still get your original stab. So if you were a Charizard, so you have fire flying, you still have boosts on fire and flying, but you were Terra Steel, you'd also now have boosts on steel attacks. Additionally, if you were, let's say, Charizard Fire Flying and you Terra Fired, now you have a double boost to fire. So there's a lot
Crazy.
of strategy to that. You can defensively Terra, you can offensively Terra. Just kind of like I think if I get this little extra boost, I can get this knockout that I wouldn't have otherwise, and
Yeah.
things like that.
It's huge. I
Or I
mean,
think I can survive this hit and hit him back where I wouldn't have. I think that's the
I
that's what makes Terra the best one to me. Megas are obviously the coolest. Don't get me wrong. I love Megas. Terra, you
There's
you make it
strategy.
go from chess to go or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you're just bringing it that next level of
Yeah. You can only
what
Terra
is
once per
possible.
battle. You got to pick the Pokemon you do it on. You got to pick your moment. You
And
got to
it's open
pick.
team sheets, so they
Yeah.
know your options.
Yeah. Yeah, they know what team you're coming in with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and then it's 2v2, right? It's not the single Pokemon battles. And that adds another level of strategy outside of
Yeah, that's what brings you from checkers to chess.
yeah. It is there is so much strategy. I mean, we're not even talking about the hundreds of other Pokemon that don't show up in these. Like every competitive thing, there's tiers. Someone in 5 years could find out that the Executor, that's a palm tree, is actually the most broken character in the game because they found one interaction. Uh,
That's one of Wolfie's favorite Pokemon.
is
So
it
if anyone's gonna do
actually?
it, it's gonna be Wolflick, the
Uh,
the goat.
which is worth mentioning. My introduction to Wolfie was they were doing some like breakdown of who everyone was, and Wolfie for this tournament, the 2025 Worlds, right? That's the nature.
Yep.
He said if something like if I win this, then I am undisputably the best Pokemon player, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I love that. Like like I don't know if heel energy is the right way to put it, but it's leaning there, right? Like come
He
get
does
me.
he does push that. If you really like that,
Yeah.
watch his I mean once watch his videos. His
Yeah.
videos are great. They're highly edited and there's obviously no one that has both the knowledge and background to be able to be like, "Oh, watch me win this tournament." And the way he does it is obviously not every match is displayed.
Mhm.
So, he takes notes and they rebuild the battles based on his notes, turn for turn.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's Wolfie. Which he actually has stepped away from in person
Yeah.
because ones for this season because people are kind of creeps and it's a lot of pressure and whatever to him, which is too bad because he truly is, in my opinion, the greatest.
Yeah.
Um, there's arguments for Ray Rizzo. Ray Rizzo won 3 in a row early on, but I don't think it's the level of competition. And Wolfie, I think, is in my mind surpassed that. But
Well,
um,
that's one thing about this. So what we did is we watched the 2025 Worlds, right? And we you showed me like here's a couple clips, here's a couple ones you want to watch from like the
day
qualifiers or
two,
like
day one, day
in
two,
the tiers,
yeah.
and then you're gonna watch the championships. And Wolf was one of them. And I was watching Wolf play, and he was so good. He like gets one guy knocked out right away, and then immediately comes back and knocks out two. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
crazy.
Watching him, it was so much of like, call an ambulance, but not for me. Like, I was so much
Yes.
like, oh no, it's over. He's gonna be gone. This is my favorite guy. He's gonna be gone. And then he wins, and I'm like, I should have never doubted you.
Yeah.
You.
Which is how I felt. But so I go into the championships and I'm like, where's Wolf? And I look up and he placed like 42nd that year. Like I don't
Yeah.
know what happened. Which, like maybe, hearing, the story of like how he just doesn't want to show up. Like maybe his head was just not in the game this tournament. But
I think it
uh
was. I think it's hard. And it's this one. A lot of the big names you were expecting to do very well were out day one. Honestly, there was the
wow.
Marco Silva who had the most points going into it, out day one. Fedecampo, who was a big name, out day one. There was a lot of like, oh, what's
Yeah.
happening here? And
Yeah.
honestly, I think, especially with my I don't know if it's a hot take, but my thoughts with champions just lowering the barrier of entry to
Mm,
people that can play is I don't know if we're ever going to have another repeat winner. We've only had
mm,
Ray Rizzo. It's the only repeat winner we've ever had. Wolfie's gotten close. He's won it in 2016. He was second place, and he's been, a top performer a couple times. I don't think we're going to have another winner, a
yeah.
repeat winner. Just I could see it just by the nature of it. There's so many people. It's growing every year, and it's not like Wolfie was the best one. He
Yeah.
obviously is very talented, and I think he's the greatest player.
Well,
But
the two
yeah,
people this year weren't they both from like the younger league, like up and comers, like something like that?
they James Evans had won previously as in one of the other divisions. So
Yeah.
there's junior division, master division, senior division. I think
Hmm.
is how it. No, junior, senior, master.
Yeah.
Um, and so we're in an era that people have grown up and competed since they were children, which is kind of awesome.
Wow.
Um,
So cool.
where Wolfie, you start competing in like the black and white era, just because that's they didn't really have it before. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm a high schooler and
Yeah.
I like this. Yeah, I'll ask my parents to drive me to a regional
to
things.
to have full day streams of you competing as like a middle schooler, like high schooler, that would have been everything for me growing up, man. I
Right.
cannot
Did you watch
imagine.
any of the younger divisions
I
for the
didn't. No.
championship
I
movie?
kind of
Okay.
stuck to
Yeah.
kind of what you broke down for me, which
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably watch more. At least
They're
in the
surprisingly good.
yeah. Well, it's if you understand Pokemon, and you like, which is like you understand, you take like the 10 seconds to Google moves if you don't recognize them. If you know enough about Pokemon to know what Trick Room is, then you're gonna be fine here, right? Uh, and so walking into like, is it called doubles? Is it called duos?
VGC is the general name, which is just video game champions, but doubles is, I guess, the
Okay.
format.
VGC. So VGC.
But it's not pure doubles because there's restrictions. So it was
Okay.
a double restricted. So you could, it's not like you're going to have a team of all legendaries. You could have two of the restricted Pokemon, things like that. And right. Then
Interesting.
after that, they went back to Reg H, so there was none of the legendaries and things like that. So there's restrictions to the current regulation you're in, essentially.
Yeah.
On top of it.
Interesting. Yeah, it's this whole thing. Uh, I found it very approachable, because everyone's played Pokemon. Everyone knows like, oh, water beats fire at the very least, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a big flaming guy and this person is spitting water. At the very least, you know that. You can get a good grasp of what's going on. And probably not intentionally, way back in the 90s, the way Pokemon works is there's readouts at the bottom of the screen for every last thing that's happening. So even if you don't understand what's going on, you could read it. And it's just like, okay, that was a critical hit and that killed him. And now this guy gets a boost because of his ability. And it's just like
Yeah.
so approachable. And
And the announcers are great too at helping with that, in my opinion.
yes,
I think it was
absolutely.
probably Aaron, and Rosemary was my
Hmm.
guess to be for the final one, who are both great. Aaron Zhang, highly rated competitor on his own for
Hmm.
in a past life, and now it does more of the commentary side. Rosemary also very talented, but I think has done a little less of the competitive. Though I believe her husband does still compete pretty actively. I think he won a regionals actually pretty recently. But
Wow. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot. But I don't know if I would ever get into it because I know I would just be trying to, as I don't know if I would ever participate. I
yeah,
would just be trying to squeeze my favorite Pokemon into that team, and I just know that's not how it works. I would need to lead
unless you're
with,
Wolfie,
yeah, unless you're Wolfie and you're, the maybe
you're
goat.
that dude.
It seems like just based on the comments, Amoonguss was one of his favorites too that he tried to squeeze in, but it seemed like other people were playing that, so
Amoonguss is
maybe not.
good. Amoonguss is very good. Incineroar is very good, and
Yeah.
he's got that. He's kind of tied to Incineroar because it's kind of a running joke with him of like this is the best one. um, so it's kind of a running joke. So you see him tied to Incineroar a lot, but
Mhm.
he likes the weird guys.
Good.
Some of his favorite teams I love to watch is when he plays Parish Trap. So
Yes.
the idea of Parish Trap is Parish Song plus someone that can shadow tag or something that's going to trap you on the field. So he just has that dance of like you're playing this game, I'm playing this game. I'm just playing a different game than you,
Which I love.
and it's so fun to watch. He's yeah, he's fun.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. The they were making that explanation in a lot of the pre-games. I'm like, usually that's the stuff people skip past, but I'm like, I actually know nothing. So I am actually going to listen to this. And they're explaining like this person's strategy, especially like looking up for Wolf. By the way, I was like trying to play on my Steam Deck and I ended up having to just put
Okay,
it down because I was too interested. So there you
that's
go.
awesome.
You got me.
I
Uh,
might have converted you.
yeah, maybe. If nothing else, it's going to be on the list of things that I could get obsessed with if I let me, right? if I let myself. Um, but yeah, the Parish song thing. Immediately, I was like, the first time I saw Parish song, I put it on my Absol when I was playing Emerald way back when I was like 11, and I'm like, I'm going to build my entire team around this. And so when I
There you go.
found out that was like a strat
What he's known as.
for like one of the best players, I'm like, I felt so proud of my 11-year-old self. I'm like, he
There
could
you
have
go.
been the best that no one ever was. Uh,
Um,
yeah,
so Glitch City, they do a lot of remixes of Pokemon stuff, and right before Worlds, they came out with a remix, Wolfie Cone Parish, which was about him doing like and clips of him doing Parish Trap for with Marco Silva, who so they came up against each other, and I want to say one of the grand challenges where Wolfie was testing out the team, and Marco. Like I said, he was one with like the highest championship points going into, and he's just like, oh no, and he's an Italian player.
yeah,
But he's like, oh no, Wolfie Cone Parish. It's just like, oh no, this is what I'm against. On like his stream, which is an incredible moment.
that's so fun. Wolfie Cone Parish, just as a sentence. It
Yeah,
really works. Yeah, also just as an Italian American, really happy that so many Italians are in competitive Pokemon. That was cool.
this year so far, every up to today, every regionals in Europe have been won by an Italian. So far in this current regulation,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
which I think is like five of them, which is still pretty good.
It's pretty good.
And another fun fact in that same regulation, every winner has had Incineroar, just
Hell
to show its
yes.
power.
It's really good, apparently. It seems like it was on every team. That and like the Scarlet Legendary. I haven't played the games uh recently.
um, yeah, historically, people thought the Miraidon was the stronger one. Miraidon, I think, might have won the year prior,
Hmm.
if I'm recalling. But this year, obviously, um, the Scarlet's Legendary won it.
Yeah.
Koraidon.
Yeah. It was seeing a lot of play. Uh yeah, it was a lot of fun. Uh yeah, I could dive into that head first, man. And if nothing else, I'm gonna go watch Wolf's channel. For sure.
Absolutely, it's
Really fun stuff. Now the other side of this, the other thing I ended up doing, the other part of the assignment, was Pokemon Unite. And as opposed to being super duper understanding and like almost intuitive like grasp of what's going on screen with regular Pokemon, if
VGC.
you'll allow me, VGC. I had to stop and watch a video explaining how Pokemon Unite works. Because even in League of Legends, which I also don't understand,
Right.
I know that you got to get to the other side and fight people. But in
Okay.
Pokemon Unite, which is a MOBA, a League of Legends like game, which I didn't even know existed, and that's super cool. Uh, it is like you're collecting spears that you're getting from like the other side's team, and you're bringing them back to your side or something, and
So
then you
you're
gotta get
dunking them. So you
yeah,
get Aeos, you get Aeos from energy
mhm,
from either defeating the enemy team and getting what they drop, or defeating the wild Pokemon. So
yeah,
you're gonna get from defeating a wild Pokemon. Say you defeat a Bunnelby,
mhm,
you're gonna get both some experience to try to level you up, and with level up you might evolve, you might get your new moves,
yeah,
etc. You're also gonna get, I think Bunnelby will drop you 5 Aeos coins. So then
yeah,
you can dunk that, and obviously at the end of the day, the highest score wins.
yeah,
At the end of 10 minutes.
yeah. And ultimately, what I ended up mostly doing was watching people win a fight, seeing them like deposit points afterwards. Watch out. And then seeing how much bigger their number at the top of the screen
Right.
was than the other side. Uh, and that was good enough for me, man. Like you said, the announcers do a lot of the work for you for getting you
Yeah,
excited. Because
absolutely.
they're like, oh my God, that was crazy. And I'm like, it was? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
Spriggles and Doom Snacks, who did Worlds, at the day 3, they
"Mhm,
are so good.
they
They're
are.
also all of the announcers, super incredible people, to at
Yes.
least in my experience with them. I've actually, for the last 2 years when I went to Worlds, I had made little drawings for the main cast, English voice cast, I guess. So, Spraggles, Doob Snacks, Zoinks, and Wondershow. I'd
That's
made
awesome.
4 of them. And they're so nice people.
Mhm.
I was like, Zoinks, whatever. Here's this one. I like flagged him down when he was walking by the one time, and he's like, "Oh wait, you're the guy from last year that gave me this. I have it in my living room," and things like that. Like he's so incredible. He's like, "Let me get the other guys and bring them out." Like
Oh, that's
so nice.
awesome. They seem like
Um,
great guys. I'm so glad that you got to meet them. They seemed sick.
yeah,
And
and Unite
absolutely.
Mics, their podcast with
Hmm.
Zoinks, Stube Snacks, and Bridget, incredible. I got
Hmm.
my sticker I got for
Oh,
Overdunk. There also, I watch them all the time. They don't get enough love.
they seem great. They seem great.
It's a nice shirt too. It's a Unite Mike shirt. They did like
Is it?
a charity, whatever. Actually, I think all of their really proceeds from that podcast go to charity, which
That's cool
I'm
merch,
proud of.
actually. It's like a, what is it? It's
Yeah.
like a drive-in, like an old school drive-in.
Yeah, so it's a hundo burger. That's Dude Snacks. You probably heard him at the end. He's like, oh, there because. So I guess stepping back, the
Yeah,
way it
let's do
works
it.
is the last 2 minutes of the game, scores are double, right? So your max you can hold is 60, but if it's in the end of the game, you're dumping your full stack. It's a hundo, right? So it's a hundo burger, and that's
Oh.
what he kind of
And
says at the
so
end
when
with the
someone
big hype
dunks a
moment.
hung dough burger, then it's like
Yeah,
a, okay, I got you. I feel like a dad trying to understand something his kid's really into. Except now I'm also into it. Uh, love it. Well, yeah, Pokemon Unite. I walked away not understanding, but feeling hyped and invested. And so I was like, yeah, uh, that was the vibe. What I want to know though, is how you got into this from the first place. Because I remember we've known each other a while. Back in the day, you were into Pokemon. I was also into Pokemon,
right.
but you stuck with it. It seems.
I
Uh,
did. So I fell out. So I was huge into Pokemon. Actually, I think I've got it over here. I've got my 10th anniversary. Whatever. I went to like a convention and got that. So I've been from a young age going whatever. And I fell out. So I played a ton of Gen 4. So Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. And I didn't play Gen 5. I mean, I have now, but when it came out, I kind of had fallen out at that point. But when Gen 6 was coming out, so XY, I didn't have a 3DS, so I didn't play it. That's when I started getting back into watching content, and I played some Pokemon Showdown, things like that. So there's really only one gen I took off. But then I was really just following, the Nuzlocke kind of world, things like that, not really competitive. I'd watch Draft League, and things like that, but that's not really the competitive world. Um, I'd watch the occasional Wolfie video, but that's kind of where it'd end. And then so let's think. So I'd say early 2022
mhm.
would be the mobile release of Pokemon Unite.
Okay.
So it came out originally just on the Switch, and I didn't have a Switch at that time, but I had some friends that had a Switch and played it some and things like that. And the mobile release, we're like, okay, I've got some coworkers and friends that were like, all right, let's play around with this. Let's do our lunch break. We'll play this game a little bit. We had a couple weeks of doing that, and we're like, all right, this is pretty fun. Let's compete. There's a tournament coming up. So I think it was like March 2022. One of the qualifiers for that. We're like, we're decent at this game. We can probably do all right.
Yeah.
And then we like get to day of, and we're like, oh wait, if we win, this is gonna be like an 8 hour thing. I thought I was around for like an hour. We're like, well, I guess we might just have to drop out if we're doing well. If it takes too long, whatever. We play first match, stomped. Second match, stomped. All right, we go into lower bracket. Then we get stomped there. And we're like, all right, I guess we're not.
I guess this wasn't the eight
I guess
hour commitment we thought we were locked into.
yeah, like I guess there's more to this. So obviously I'd already watched some Spraggles and stuff like that. At that point, he's kind of the best entry point. I think he makes it approachable, as far as content goes. So I start watching him a little more, and then he's obviously getting into doing the commentary. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna keep watching that, and kept with watching all of the competitive. Watched Worlds pretty much just Unite that first Unite year, and Luminosity wins it. So, or I guess they were Blackhand at that point, wins it. Who wasn't a team that was as much on my radar, but I was like, all right, NA wins it. That's exciting. Let's keep up with this. And then the next year I was into it from the start. And that next year, so that would have been last year's, so 2024 Worlds, but the season would have started, before that, right? 2024 Worlds was in Honolulu, so I was like, all right, I should probably go to that. I'm not gonna have to travel. I could have some friends stay with me, and I should go to that. So I'm watching the whole season, planning for that. Eventually, go into the lottery, get tickets. Don't, but then we have my friend Anthony and a friend of his, Christian. They were already coming out. We already kind of committed to that, so we found a competitor and kind of bought his plus ones essentially, or a couple competitors,
Sure.
and ended up doing that. So I was invested in Unite that whole way, and towards the end, I'm like, all right, I should probably watch like some VGC too, not just some couple Wolfie videos. But so at the very end, I started watching a little bit more of that, and then, obviously had a blast at that Worlds. I think I've got some stickers and stuff for that. Can show off.
Beautiful.
Their art is always so fun.
It was.
For the
I
Worlds.
was
They go all out.
surprised that they had a whole animation for the beginning that they put together, like at the
Yeah, they did
ceremony.
like a whole opening ceremony and stuff.
Yeah,
And spectator pass.
great.
Yeah, so had a blast with that, obviously, and I was like, all right, I want to do that again, but this time I should follow VGC the whole time. So I watched, every regionals for VGC, every, tournament for Unite and things like that this whole last year. And then, I went, and this time it was just me. Other people weren't able to figure out schedules and things and whatnot. Finances, because it's not like it's necessarily cheap
Right.
to travel.
Yeah, of course not.
So I went on my own, which I'm perfectly fine with. I'm pretty introverted. So I went on my own and had a blast with that again. So, I'm going to keep at it. But that's kind of my journey with competitive Pokemon.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like just one more story of saying sure, why not, and that turning into a major part of your life.
Right.
Absolutely. I love that, man. Oh man. It's so interesting. It's such a interesting thing to step into the
Actually, there would have been
championships.
two. There would have been two Worlds before the one I went to. I skipped over a year.
Oh, okay.
Two years of just watching Unite, and then the VGC.
Yeah. Uh, it's interesting to step into the championships of something, and just kind of see the scale of like,
And I don't even experience, because I'm pretty locked watching the event. So
yeah,
I'm not even experiencing probably 70% of what's going on, because there's so many. Like this year, you could go play ZA and
yeah,
stuff like that. It wasn't released yet, but they had like demos and stuff you could play. You could do. There's like competitions you can do of like different. You can play Unite with the random solo teams and things like that, and get prizes, and same with VG and things. They've got all sorts of different events you can do and everything. They've got meetups and signings and pin trading and all sorts of shopping and everything you can do. And I'm like, but I'm interested in this. I'm locked in my chair.
yeah.
So I don't even experience a ton of it, but even so, it's still incredible.
That's yeah, incredible, absolutely incredible. I knew Pokemon was popular. Everyone knows Pokemon is popular,
Yeah.
but why? I don't know why I was surprised at how big it was. Uh, at the most popular, right?
Yeah.
How
Well,
big
it's
it got.
also grown a ton. So like they've been in Anaheim before, and my understanding is, so I stayed in the hotel next to the convention center mainly because I'm like, I don't know this place enough. I'm just gonna stay by it. I'm gonna get the deal through the convention. It's probably gonna be more money than if I stay at a cheaper place a little further, but I don't know the place enough to do that. So I stay there, and obviously it's all decked out and things like that. But my understanding is the first time I was in Anaheim, it was in like the second floor of that, like the conference rooms.
Yeah,
Now it was in the convention center across the street
yeah,
and arenas. Next year it's going to be at like a Chase Stadium or whatever, like basketball games happen. Like the day 3 is going to be like it's crazy how much it's growing. And I mean, it's a lottery system to get tickets that goes out immediately. Like Um, it's kind of crazy. I guess I forget one important step. I was so February 24, 2024. My wife and I, we went to Japan for her 30th birthday,
Mhm.
right? And on the flight home, I actually had Wi-Fi for whatever reason on the flight. I think it was included, and it was the day it was Championship Sunday of EUIC. So, I was like, all right, cool. I know what I'm doing for the flight back, whatever. And I'm watching that live in the morning. Luminosity, my favorite Unite team,
Yeah.
wins it all. I'm like, sweet. And then I keep watching, whatever. Maybe I think I caught up from the last day's worth of VG in that middle period where I didn't really watch the TCG and go. And then, all right, it's championship time, and Wolf clicks there, and he wins, with Paris Trap and whatever. It's like super exciting. I'm, trying not to pop off on the plane. And then it's like, all right, here's the trailer for Worlds 25. And then I'm watching that in the B roll. Wait, that's me.
Oh, awesome. Wow, what
And
a
like on the plane, I'm like, rewind, rewind. Look at this one. That's me.
which
And
I
then
I have to admit I didn't get the extra credit of seeing you in the
oh, you
background.
didn't find me?
I looked every time and I didn't see you. So,
Okay,
that's
well,
too bad. I'm
and at
sure you
least in the edit for episode one, I put a brief whatever, so you can at least see me in that. But
Okay. Okay,
um,
good. Uh yeah, but
yeah. So that was the other part. I can put the little trailer bit too, in the edit here. But yeah, I was like, wait, I'm in the B-roll for this for Worlds. I guess I gotta go, right?
it's so cool. It's so fun. Yeah, the idea of you just all of this hitting at once while you're just on a flight.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know what to do with this energy. Everyone's quiet and we're trying to keep the babies asleep, you know.
Right.
Man, that's always how it is. The amount of like reveal trailers I've watched on a train and I'm just like I can't explode right now. Uh, which you mentioned Luminosity, your favorite team. I
Yep.
was absolutely rooting for Peru in this championship, just
Nice.
because it seemed like they were like the unexpected team, the underdog, to make it
Yeah, they
all the
actually
way
kind of
up.
were rivals with Luminosity, where Luminosity beat them a couple times in the season, and then they
Hmm.
beat Luminosity obviously to make it to that
Oh
championship.
my God, are we on opposite sides of a rivalry now? Am I a Peru
Well,
fan? You're a
Luminosity's
Luminosity
kind of
fan.
broken up. Slash can,
Oh.
their supporter, he's playing in Taiwan actually now
Hmm.
this year, this upcoming world. Overlord, who is their top laner, he's
Yeah.
playing in Japan on a team, so they've kind of gone their separate ways a little bit. But
Interesting. Oh. Well, they got one championship win
two,
in two. They got
they
two
won the first
wins.
two.
Won the first two. Hey, so not like it was
And
for
this
nothing.
last year, they went into it. They won LAIC to start it off. They won EUIC, and they won NAIC. So they won all the
Yeah.
international championships. They were third place in the Asia Champions League because they got an invite to that from winning LAIC. So they were on a roll. Um,
Wow. So wait, this
and
last
that's why
year, is this next championship, is it going to have Luminosity or Wolf? Because Wolf won't do the in person anymore, right?
I'm not sure how he's going to do it for Worlds. Like if he qualifies, he
Yeah,
might just be like, all right, sure, I'll do that one. I'm not sure. I think he's still competing. Like he won a grand championship, which is like a digital one,
sure.
not too long ago. So I'm not sure. He might like be like, all right, it's Worlds. I'll still go to that. I'm not sure. That really depends on him and depends on how he's feeling. And I wouldn't blame him either way. But um,
Hmm.
but no luminosity. I think all the players are still playing. But yeah, no luminosity. Um, this next upcoming.
Yeah, crazy. So who's your next team? Who are you cheering for? Is it Japan because of the guy going there?
It's probably so. There was a team year one. Gaming Gladiators were the org. That was them. That year one, they were so good that they were kind of that like enemy of like no all the teams. I was a team YT fan who they've kind of split. They deserve their own like 4 hour visual video essay. Honestly, there was so much drama that's fun about them that I'm not necessarily going to talk on. But they were kind of my team. They were always kind of underdogs and chaotic.
Hmm.
So I was always like, no, that's the guy that the Gaming Gladiators they win every time. I'm rooting against him. And then year one, the way that the championships worked, like the final qualifier mattered so much, they ended up not making it. And at first I'm like, yeah, the team that I've been rooting against doesn't make it. And then I'm like, oh wait, no, I kind of like these guys, Inder and Zugrug and things like that. And you know, they kind of split up. They some of them stay together. And I'm like, all right, year 2, I'm rooting for them a little bit more. And then year 3, Inder he actually retires end of year 2, and then partway into year 3, unretires and plays in Europe actually for a team, Nouns there. Nouns, who you saw. In that Luminosity game I had you watch.
Mm-hmm.
So Inder was played for there. Toon was actually part of Game and Gladiators as well. He lives in Europe though. He was playing for the other. So they reunited on Nouns a little bit, and now they're back again in NA this upcoming year. They ended up winning LAIC, which was exciting. A little bit of a different new roster and things, but a lot of that core. So they're probably the team I'm mainly rooting for.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
I like the idea of them being perceived as like the stompers, only for people to
Yeah.
go like, wait, no, it's not happening. And then like
Yeah. At least that was my experience.
kind of like lift them back up from there. That's a fun team to cheer for.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. That's kind of how it feels to cheer for the Bulls right now. The Bulls
Yeah.
feel like they should be good. Yeah.
They started out hot.
Yeah. But, I won't talk sports on our nerd podcast for too long. Uh, yeah,
Just esports here.
we could talk esports. I the only esport I've ever been into was Smash, and that was only back in the day. I could use another thing to deep dive in. And
Maybe we'll go together to San Francisco.
maybe I'm looking for an excuse to get out to California, so maybe, right? That's what time is the year is that? Is that like May or June?
It'll probably be like August.
August. Okay. Yeah, that's a way X out. All right. Well, I'll shoot me the invite and we'll see. Maybe.
We'll at least go put in the lottery and we'll go from there.
Yes, exactly.
I'll be there. I'll figure out a way to be there, regardless.
Perfect. Yeah. Good stuff. And they'll have, all these new Pokemon from the Greek
Yeah, it'll be
generation.
champions, and
Yeah.
well, it'll be champions. For Worlds 2026,
Oh.
which hasn't even come out yet. I don't think. I think the Worlds is going to be in Pokemon Champions.
Oh. Whoa, whoa. Explain that. Pokemon Champions. I'm not too familiar.
So Pokemon Champions is essentially so. I guess Pokemon Showdown is a non-official Pokemon you can compete on like browser and things like
Okay.
that. Where you can build out your teams and things like that. You don't have to actually breed for the right IVs and things like that. You can move some sliders. People love doing that for Showdown to train up and things like that. Pokemon Champions is kind of the official version of that. Is I guess the quick way of saying it. They're
Gotcha.
releasing this. I think it's even going to be on mobile too, where it's just like, yeah, transfer over your Pokemon, move your sliders to get them how you want and compete. And it's just built only for the competition side. And that's kind of what I was saying in that pitch originally of like how they're kind of separating some of the core game and the competitive side, which I think is going to help. Um,
Yes.
you're gonna have champions, and champions you're gonna not just have the one region's gimmick, right? Megas aren't in um, Gen 9 Scarlet Violet, but in champions we're gonna have megas. You're gonna have megas. I think you can have. You potentially you're gonna have megas. You're gonna have Gigantamax. You're gonna have terrestrialization. You're gonna have whatever they want that regulation to include. I guess Z moves, whatever. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but I believe Worlds is going to be in that.
So
Um,
now I have a tangential question that I didn't even realize. Do do people have to show up with Pokemon they trained themselves?
yeah,
And so
if you
they
gen Pokemon, that's a disqualification and things like that. You have to have bred them yourself and trained them up and gotten the moves you want and the IVs you want and the EVs you want and all that. That's why they've made it easier and easier over time. That's why it's not necessarily purely accessible to compete, and that's why it's my point earlier of like lowering that barrier of entry of like, oh
yeah,
yeah, you can just kind of move those sliders.
that's
Um,
huge. That's huge
Yeah,
because I remember being really happy that they had like either IV or EV training built in as a mini
yeah,
game in
yeah. It was X
7.
and Y.
And I was like, that's so much more approachable to me. And I did it. I would do it for hours to get my
And you still had to
Marowak.
breed for your IVs, I think. And I think now you can do a little bit. You can like feed stuff and things like that to get um, kind of. But it's still not simple, you
Yeah,
know.
it's still it would be a lot simpler to let you, you know, you said move Pokemon over like from one of your
Yeah,
saves. That's
it's
a lot easier than having to go train them, right? And like
right,
get the perfect like egg type and all of that. Uh
right.
that's a lot easier. Wow. I was watching this whole thing. I didn't realize that these people had put probably like double digit hours getting even just getting the team.
Yeah,
That's yeah. Well, I'm glad that they're doing Pokemon Champions then because that
yeah.
seems unnecessary.
I think lowering that barrier of entry to me is only going to make the wins better, right?
Hmm.
If you're winning, that's why my argument is Wolfie as the goat over Ray Rizzo as the goat. You're beating tens of thousands of people. It's a lot harder. It's not 10 times harder than beating 1,000 people, right? I think it's exponentially harder. Is my opinion on that. So you open that 30, 50,000. You know, you're the one winner of, you know, all of this. Like, yeah, they're going to be the best of the best. I know there's always some, there's RNG to it. It's Pokemon, right? You're going to get critical hits, you're going to miss, things like that. But at the end of the day, when you increase the size so much, it's going to be the best of the best win. And that's why I think it's, like I said, I don't know if there's going to be a repeat again if they just keep lowering that barrier, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think that's healthy for a sport, so to speak.
Definitely. Because then you get the people who are the most skilled, not the most dedicated. And I think that's just a
Right.
little bit more interesting to watch.
Right.
Though the skilled people are probably also dedicated.
Oh
Not,
yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah, you
that's
don't get that skilled
necessarily,
without the dedication for
yeah.
sure, but
Uh, well, you could put the dedication towards building the skill rather than
right.
just the grinding, right? That's the idea. That's the goal. Uh,
Exactly.
so let's hear your grade. Let's do a grade for competitive Unite and competitive just video game champions, Pokemon
Okay.
Championship.
Um they both got to be in the A's for me, right?
Hmm.
I'm trying to think. I think Unite is my first. I mean, we didn't really even talk about that score comp. I know that probably meant nothing to you, especially having you start with that one. But the
Yeah.
fact that that was like that. Oh, they're not playing the game. They're not playing the team fight game. They're playing the hey, let's just ignore you and score points. Like that was super exciting, especially in like a this is the final game.
Hmm.
Um, that was
Yeah.
exciting. That's probably the best game I've watched ever,
It was a
especially
really
live.
engaging game. It was the strategies that people just pull out. Couldn't really wrap my head around it, but
Yeah.
it seemed interesting.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think Unite's got to be higher, but I don't know if it's a tier higher.
Hmm.
I do really love some VGC. And then like the crowd is so fun for VGC too. Yeah, I mean it is for Unite as well, but you just like every moment everyone's like oh it's like the big hit, big moment, whatever. It's a fun experience, and it's going to be different for me being there live than you watching it after the fact. But I think they're probably both an A for me. I think Unite would be higher in the A, but
Hmm. Yeah. I think for me, I'm gonna give Unite. I'm gonna say flat B.
yeah.
Uh,
So it is
uh,
less accessible, though. I think the announcers for Unite are incredible, and I think they do a
yes.
large job of bridging that gap. But it is a harder barrier to entry. I full
I
agreement
I
there.
think if it wasn't for the announcers, I would just my eyes would glaze over,
Yeah,
honestly. But there's a lot of this where I think it's just very impressive that they were able to make a Pokemon game that feels so competitive as a MOBA, and
it's
it
also a
just
team game where everything
yeah,
else is individuals, which is super interesting.
super interesting, and it kind of is a perfect fit too, because like League of Legends has this like hiding in the grass thing, and I'm like that's so
Right.
perfect for Pokemon. And it's just like it's just kind of very clever. And it also, like, I think it's cool that it highlights a lot of Pokemon that aren't like crazy popular. Like you'll get like
Yeah.
a Decidueye or a like Mewtwo in there, but also like I don't know who this giant slice of cake walking around is, and that's not a euphemism. It's
Oh,
a giant
creamy.
slice of cake.
Oh,
Uh,
creamy.
yeah,
Um, Delmize is one of their most recent releases, which is the like anchor.
yeah. Why not?
I love
Why
it.
not? Super fun to watch. Just, but it's just a little bit harder to put
Yeah,
together what's going on. And honestly, I'm just not that big a fan of MOBAs. So it is
yeah,
carried by the energy and the commitment and
agreed.
the
I've tried
rec.
watching League of Legends. I can't do it either. I fully
Yeah.
understand that.
Even then, like it is very carried by knowing Pokemon, right? I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Snorlax, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
must be a tank, right?
Yeah.
So thankfully I do, so it gets up to B.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna say A minus for regular Pokemon. Uh,
For VGC.
and I'm gonna
All right.
say A minus just because, like, I don't know. I just really wish, and as impossible as this is, I really wish there was more variety in the teams. Uh,
I do agree.
uh,
The is especially with like the double restricted. It's like, all right, you got to pick two of these super strong guys, and then use a team of four.
yeah.
So like, I mean, you have a team of six, but you're going with four. So a lot of times it's like, well, you're not going to leave your two strongest guys, unless I think in the World Championship they left one of their strongest guys.
Yeah,
Um, Geo did a couple of times, but regardless,
but it
it
definitely,
does make the team kind of similar. Um,
definitely.
I do agree.
It's just one aspect of Pokemon that Unite captures, but
Yeah,
this doesn't really because Unite it feels like you can be a bit more flexible. There are high tiers like Silcoon. It seems like everyone was talking about at this year, uh, but I don't know. It just seems like at least the same three Pokemon were being
sweet.
picked on every team. Outside of that, it's A tier, baby. It is. I could get addicted to this. I could see
Yeah.
myself trying and failing to participate. I could do all of it. Uh,
Well,
this is
anytime you want to boot up Unite, let me know. It's a 10-minute game, so it's easy enough to
honestly, and I might.
come in.
My brother's got my Switch at the moment, but I really
It's
consider.
on mobile too.
Yeah, I had it on mobile. I downloaded it. It just didn't end up happening.
Yeah.
They're daunting, man. They
Oh
are
yeah.
MOBAs are daunting.
It's daunting enough, and I've started since the mobile release, so I've got like all the Pokemon. I'm sure starting it of like, or I'm missing. I guess Gyarados, Mega Gyarados just came out, so I'm missing three. But still, that's pretty good.
And then we have mutual friends that I sure already play, and mutual friends that we could get to play. So I know it's
Right.
there if I want it, right? So you know, thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Uh, so let's score Unite. If I'm at a B and you said A minus for Unite, or where did you put Unite?
I think I said A, but I think it's fair to put that like a B plus.
B plus. Okay. And then I had A minus and you had A or A
An A.
plus. Okay, so let's
I had an A, but it might. Does it average to an A for
I
us?
think
Is
so.
it
This
our
is the
highest?
first time we've had two people say A. So this
Right.
might be our highest. Yeah.
I'm trying to compare it to like VGHS. Obviously, and it's kind of impossible
hmm
um,
Yeah.
to like rate those. I think it's clearly above House to me.
Mhm.
Um, VGHS is has a special place for me, but which I think is going to. I think that whenever we're gonna be comparing shows, it's gonna be that hard line of a or like, well, did it make me feel more than that? Which that'll
Yeah.
be another. We'll cross that when we get there. But I think this is probably our. I think it's the first time we've consensus both put things in A.
Yeah.
So in the A range. So I think it's got to be an A. I think
It's
we've
gotta
got
be an
our new champion.
A. All right. Dethroning House, I believe. So,
Yeah.
you know, uh, next thing to beat. Yeah, I think I put House at A. I think it could be A
I think I
plus.
said B
I'm just
plus. Yeah.
yeah. I don't remember. But it wasn't two people in A. That's better.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. That's our highest grade.
Yeah.
Throw up the graphic you spent 5 hours on. Uh, and if there's not a graphic, then just write highest grade in like crappy text right
I
here.
could put a little star.
little
The
star.
A plus will be on there. I'll put a little star next to it, little
Mm.
sticker.
And then can the rat from our merch be holding the star? Is that also
Okay, I can
possible?
do that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and if you got this far, first person to uh, talk about the rat hat, uh, you get pinned in the comments. There you go. You get to feel
There you go.
special. Uh,
Also, like, obviously we don't have a huge fan base at this point. If
yeah,
you really want this hat and it's a little more than you want, just like email us, and I think I can make a promo code to lower it at least. So,
yeah,
like, to the least it'll lower us. Like, I'm just happy if people want
yeah.
it.
Honestly, it's for me. It's fun that we could even have it happen. I didn't
Yeah,
expect us to be able to produce merch with
yeah.
like the size of our fan base, but it's just I think we're on the same page. It's not even that we're trying to like turn a profit here. It's just I mean, look at it.
Yeah, it's a cool. And
Look.
you saw it on my dog. You got to be nice. That's a cancer patient dog. You got to be nice to her.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Yeah, you have to be
do it
nice
for
to her.
her.
You have to make her happy and get the hat, get the rat hat.
Yeah.
Even if it isn't Rat Hat Saturday when you're listening to this. Uh, all right. Okay. A
All
good
right.
little
That's
moment
that's
that's
not
gonna
little.
get cut out. All right.
No, I'm leaving this in.
You guys want to hear my brother? Hey, Michael, you're on the podcast.
With who?
What's up?
Dalton? What's it
Yep.
about?
What's it
What
about?
about
Watch it,
you guys talking
motherfucker.
about?
Goodbye. There you go.
Thanks for joining us, Michael.
Our first guest.
Our first guest. All right.
All right. So, uh, what is it about? Well, the first part was about Pokemon Unite. This second part, is about Stranger Things and also Stranger Sings.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Now, I feel we should start with a general discussion about Stranger Things,
I agree.
and then
I
talk about how it was elevated later. Uh,
Yep.
and I
I
want
went
to,
into this thinking, all right, I'll watch season 5. Maybe I'll watch the first episode of Stranger Things to kind of catch up before I watch things, just to kind of remember what the first episode was about.
Mhm.
And then, like, I was like, all right, let me think about what I think about the whole show and things like that. And I'm like, I have more opinions than I thought I did.
Yeah.
So I watched all of season 1,
Okay.
and I'm like, that's at least what I'm gonna do before I watch things. I'm gonna watch all of Stranger Things season 1 because that's spoilers. What I think is the best one. I
Mhm.
don't think that's a hot take.
No, not at all.
um, and then I'm like, I have strong thoughts about these next ones. I need to watch and either confirm or counter myself on some of these because maybe I'm being a little too strong. So then I watched season 2 and season 3 and season 4 and then season 5 when it came out, or part 1 or whatever. So I have rewatched the entire thing. So I am ready to talk.
All right. You've rewatched the entire thing. I have watched the newest season, all 4 episodes at the time of recording. Uh,
Which I think we should do on Patreon. Extra videos. This will be a free tier. I'll make sure of it. I think we should do a second recording to talk about our grade for the second part and then the third part or the movie, whatever, when it comes out as well. Little short
Definitely.
ones to add on that. So people that are here for this conversation, join us there. Give us either money or free tier. I don't care.
We don't care. Just to do it mostly. I think a lot of
Yeah,
this is just us having fun playing podcaster. So,
yeah.
give us money if you want it. We'll take it. You don't gotta. Uh, yeah, I watched one episode. I've watched the first episode. Uh I just kind of looked up like what are some favorite. Actually, Netflix suggests what are some of
Okay.
people's favorite episodes. So I watched like uh the episode a random episode in season 2. I think it's when Steve first starts like being like in the kids part of the
Okay.
story, like when he's like in the bus with like the bat and like they're planning all of that stuff. And then in season 3, when they're like trying to confirm that Max's brother is like controlled by the mind flayer, right? uh,
Right.
and then I've been slowly rewatching season 4 of my brothers, and then I watched all season 5. So sporadic here and there, but I outside of the second season, I've watched every season at least once, at least
Right.
twice, I should say.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
but that's enough of me. I want to hear the thoughts, or even maybe just like a recap too, as you do it, from the guy who just watched the entire series in the last month.
I I took some notes too, so I'll give us
Perfect.
my notes.
Run through it. I'd love it if you gave us your notes and I maybe jump in with commentary here and there.
Okay.
Like let's do it.
So
Let's really do it.
let's let's start with season one because I think that's by far my least notes, and I think that's I graded that as what did I give it? I gave it I think an A minus.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna give us a grades for each one. Actually, I probably yeah I think I gave it an A minus. It is just good. It's a good season of television. I
Hmm.
think season one does very well at setting up a mystery, not over explaining it, giving you that good feel, touch of, pulling on those nostalgias. I think it does a good job of that. I think it's got compelling characters. I think it's got good mystery. I think the acting is surprisingly good for the children. Things like that. Really good. I think it should have stopped there.
Also, not a hot take.
Not a hot take. But yeah. Season two, I think is still pretty strong. I think I gave that a B. I think it's, and I think my grades, and maybe that's just going to be part of our conversation. I get pretty rough on some of the grades, and I think my reasoning for those is it's not fully incompetent, right? I think it'd almost have a higher grade if it was all incompetent. But the fact that it is so competent in some and so incompetent in other
Yeah,
ways, I think is honestly worse to me. Um,
that's interesting. Yeah, because it.
um,
We'll talk about it, but keep going.
Yeah. But yeah, like the visuals are always good, the acting's always good, things like that, right? Those are always incredible. And
Hmm.
then sometimes, and we'll get to it, sometimes the story's just not.
Yeah.
And some of the character writing, not.
Yeah.
But yeah, season two, I give a B. I say it's a worse plot, but character writing is still solid. I'd said I really liked the scene with Will where he's locked up in the basement,
Hmm.
right? So he's locked in the basement. He's taken over by the mind flayer at this point, and they lock him up so they don't know where he's at. And then the phone rings,
Mm.
and he's like, "Oh, I know where we're at. That's my house phone." I think that's a really strong scene.
Yeah.
Um, I think, and at this again, not a hot take. The Lost Sister episode, not good.
Hmm. Yeah.
Not a hot take. It's a swing and a miss for me.
Yeah.
I think it gets overhated. I will say. I think the characters are unlikable, but I think that's partially on purpose. I think it's supposed to be like, hey, don't like these guys. This is not a good path to take. So I think it succeeds in that way that some people say that's a bad thing for. I think it just fails in other ways. I don't want a bad X-Men show. I want a mystery.
Hmm.
But um, Dustin and Steve are great together. And it's not quite overdone yet and over leaned on, but I think they've got good. Um, Bob is great, but it's the start of the like Stranger Things likes to do the let's introduce a character and make you
Mm.
like them a lot so we can kill them so you feel like there's stakes even though none of the actual main cast have stakes.
Yep.
Um, it's like, oh, this character that of course you'll like because he's written just for you to like him. Yeah, let's kill him. It's kind of the start of that trend, but Bob's great.
Yeah.
Samwise is incredible, right?
Hmm.
That gets us to three, which is a C minus for me.
Okay.
uh,
Generous.
I really don't like the shift to action comedy.
Mm. Okay. Yeah.
I think Stranger Things to me is strongest when it was that core mystery, really small, really whatever. I don't like when it's like, oh, this is just a funny action movie. We're quipping, we're whatever. We've got we're just shooting guns and making quips, right? That doesn't really work for me. There's also not really any character growth in season three, um,
Hmm.
and especially Hop. They kind of are like, oh, remember that big arc you liked in season two with him? Let's kind of just reset him so we can do that, try to do that again, but worse.
Hmm.
Um, uh, what else? Also, I wrote one of my notes is why does no one believe Joyce, who is literally never wrong about this stuff?
Oh my God. Yeah. So often
um,
it's people not learning their lesson from the previous seasons.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, wait, Joyce, who's been right every time, and like, wait, this is the thing.
Mm. Yeah.
They're like, nah, you're being crazy again.
Even though you've never been
But
crazy.
I noted the Robin coming out scene was great. That
Yeah.
was, that's a good scene. But yeah, that's I think the lowest point to me is season 3. I don't think again that's necessarily a hot take.
No.
I think it's also just like, okay, let's just do the mind flare again, kind of, but also Russia. Like, it's kind of a weird whatever to me.
Yeah, if they stuck with the doppelganger thing, it could have been more interesting. Though I also was less interested in that as like a monster of the season. Yeah, I'll jump in with my thoughts once you wrap
Yeah.
up,
My notes.
the big note thing.
Yeah.
But
And I want to go deeper into each of these seasons,
yes,
but I'm
and we
just
will.
going through my notes. Um, Season 4, I gave I think a B minus C plus. I think it's better, but it. I noted that I think it's trying way too hard.
Mm,
I think it's very much all about the spectacle. So and we're running into the problem that we continue running into season 5 and have to this point of there's just too many characters to give growth to all of them.
mhm.
So you kind of sacrifice character growth on everyone to for the spectacle, right? So all of the characters just kind of get flanderized a little, right? You become kind of one-dimensional
Huh.
caricatures of yourself. Also another reset for Hopper and fake out deaths that I don't think anyone was surprised by.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which is also just kind of like
A theme. A fake out deaths.
a theme. It is a theme, but it's also like, oh, Joyce and we don't really know what to do with her, so I guess go to Russia. Like when
Yeah.
we're already stuck for too much time of not having character growth, it's like I guess have the side plot that whatever. With
Yeah.
Murray, who is probably one of my least favorite characters.
Oh my God, especially in season 4. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Um, what else did I say? Um, I said it's just like a CW show at this point, pretty much.
Dude. Yeah.
um,
Uh
I'd said Mac's story is the one bright spot.
yeah.
But I didn't really like all of a sudden the big bad's kind of incompetent and she just kind of gets to run in a straight line. And this person that was able to like snap people, it's just like, oh, I guess I tossed some rocks and miss.
Yeah, I think
I do
he
like
knew.
that scene though.
Yeah, I
That's
think
yeah,
ultimately he gets her eventually, right? So I don't think it was
yeah,
worried. I think that's kind of why I wasn't too frustrated with that by the end of it. But the
yeah.
stakes, as good as that scene was, the stakes just kind of disappear because he just kind of
Right,
stands there as she gets away. And it's
right.
like, okay.
That's kind of was my point of just like, yeah, he's all of a sudden a lot less competent than he's been.
Yeah.
um, which still makes for a good scene and an underrated song. I'm glad that song's getting some
Yeah.
popularity. Um, the 11 retcon really doesn't work for me. The lore about it falls flat.
Hmm.
Especially when thinking about the previous seasons. Like, for example, one thing I noted was like, what was his name? Dart or whatever. The from season 2. Dustin has like the little
Yeah, the
demon
dog.
dog. How does that work when Vecna's like in charge and is a hive mind? It's like and this dog that like kind of showed that he remembered you and like how does that work?
Yeah.
It doesn't really.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah,
some of it
it's
just kind of pulls the strings and a theme that I'm sure we'll talk about more is it worked best. It's a Jaws scenario.
Mhm.
When you don't show the shark, it's scarier.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
the more you show of it, of the underworld,
Yeah.
whatever, and
The upside down.
it doesn't upside down. Thank you. Um,
Yeah.
I noted I kind of liked Jason as a concept
Mhm.
of like he's trying to do stuff that he finds righteous. I don't think that's a bad in concept.
Mhm.
I noted the finale was all spectacle, but at least the spectacle looked good, right? I'm not necessarily opposed to just spectacle,
Mhm.
but still noting it. I noted it's kind of at this point it's become like a Dragon Ball. situation where you just kind of throw the jobbers at the problem until Goku shows up, except it's L.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
um,
A little bit.
which
Um,
I like a Dragon Ball. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
it's um. I noted it's lucky that people can handle being choked for so long at the end. It's very convenient.
Yeah, that
Um,
happens a lot.
and it's also very convenient. I noted that across the world and dimensions, they all were able to perfectly time the thing at the same time.
Oh, is this still season 4, like the Russian
This
thing?
is still season 4, where
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
Russia, the upside down, and the real world at the same time. They all like take a shot at the
Just
same time. Um,
conveniently, they're like,
yeah,
Russia's like, I think we should kill that thing. I don't know. I got a hunch it's like a hive mind situation.
yeah.
I feel like if we fuck
Let's
that
let's
up, it'll help them. It's just like,
right.
okay, sure. Uh,
Yeah, they like take a sword to him or whatever. That's
well,
like a
yeah, definitely.
um, next story was good, but another fake out sort of death, which is is what it is. At least there's somewhat
Yeah.
continuation stakes with that.
Yeah.
Um, and I've noted, I think some of the it Stranger Things was man versus nature,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It's against this kind of force that is the upside down,
Mhm.
which really worked for me. When you make it Vecna and a hive mind, but it's still kind of a big bad and mind flayer, you become man versus man,
Yeah.
which is less interesting for the sort of story to me. I think that the twist from man versus nature to man versus man is a downgrade in this situation.
I think. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, let's definitely talk about that. I think that
Yeah,
uh they wanted the tone shift from season 1. There's no going back, right?
agreed.
They
Agreed.
wanted
Which I don't want them to just do season one over and over
yeah.
again. That would be probably
It
worse,
also
right?
wouldn't work. It's the
Right.
tension of like the unknown and these regular people learning about things that are twisted. That's just not there unless you do an anthology series, which
Right.
people
Which
didn't.
honestly I would have preferred.
Maybe it would have been better. I'm glad we got more of the characters, at least season 2. Uh,
Yeah.
I think that when you commit to that shift, man versus nature becomes less interesting.
Yeah.
And like you, like once the force of nature is like fully understood and there's like explanation behind it, which kind of is
That's
the
part of the problem to
it's
me,
part of the
but yeah.
problem. It's like I don't know. I don't know how many seasons you could do by just saying like we don't understand this force. You know. Uh,
Yeah.
but it definitely works less. It's I think the Vecna stuff started to work for me. I did like the whole backstory of Vecna and how, like that all works. That did work
Okay.
for me at least enough for me to be like, okay, I'll see this through to season
Oh
5.
yeah.
Like this
Yeah,
is
it's still a good show. Don't get me
yeah.
wrong. I'm being a little harsh with some of my grades, but I think that's because it comes from a place of this. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like I said, I think it's worse to me that it is very competent in some ways. That gets a lower grade than if it was just all incompetent. Making me care is a good thing.
So we don't have to give whole grades to each of these
For each
seasons.
season. No,
And
no, I don't think
but
so.
I do think
I
I
just
can
did that for
give
my own sake.
I think I could do the same. Season 1 for me is A. It's not A plus. A
Okay.
plus is reserved for like the life-changing things, right?
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah, A
but
minus for me. So same idea.
yeah.
I guess A minus because it didn't pass. Like I said, we have that line in the sand of VGHS to me. It didn't. The comedy didn't work better than VGHS, nor did the emotional beats. So I
Yeah.
couldn't pass that. Right?
I think this I really really like season 1 of Stranger Things though. I
I do
think
too.
that is comfortably at A for me.
I do too.
Season 2 I think is like a B plus, right? A B
Right.
plus.
And I
Maybe
gave
a
it.
B, like a low B plus.
Yeah, I gave a B.
You look at the
So
report
similar.
card and you're like, oh, that's a B plus. I thought that number was a B. I thought 87 or 88. I thought
Right.
that would have just been a B, but it's a B plus. I'm happy with that. That's where it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, season 3, I put at like C minus, maybe D
Yeah.
plus, but I think C minus because I want the scene I of the episode. It would have been D plus if I didn't rewatch the episode I did. I
Yeah.
forgot that this show, in its bad parts, are carried by the few scenes that they really care
Yeah.
about. Uh,
Yeah.
and season four, I think I would give like a C plus. Like it's
Yeah. So we're pretty
maybe
aligned on actually our
yeah,
grades.
we are. Which brings me to my second point. I would do a breakdown of every season. I think it is actually quicker for me to say the one or two things I disagree with, because I think
Yeah.
everything you have said, I completely agree with. It's just maybe degrees, as
Yeah.
explained by the
I'll also
grades.
point out, like, as far as grades go, I tried to think about what would be an F to me. And I don't think being really bad alone would get me an F. I think, honestly, being really bad would get you somewhere in the D range.
Yeah.
Making me not care or feel anything, I think, would be an F.
Mhm. Yeah, I
So
think
that's kind of where I was at of, like, as far as my philosophy on those grades. It's like, I think it's worse for me. Like, making me feel dislike for something, at least I felt something. So I
yeah.
think it's going to be hard for things to get an F. But I guess
So
we'll see.
yeah, I think for me, A, great. You know,
Yeah.
B, good. I like it. C, fine. I was like, yeah, okay. D to me is like, if this didn't exist, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
And then F is actively disliked this.
Okay,
Like
so we
that's
kind of
kind of
just switch F and D,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah. Uh, I think yeah, season one, great. We
Yeah.
could start talking about the show as a whole and jump around seasons. Season one tonally is even so different from season two. Like that tension is just you like I was glued to the seats. I was like watching episode after episode. I remember first time I have this my our buddy Carlos was like late to a hang one day. We're like, "Where's Carlos?" He shows up. He's like, "Hey guys, sorry, I was binging an entire show and now we have to binge it." And we did. Uh
Yeah.
and I think we
Which
got
does
like
check out for him personality wise, just
100%.
for
Yeah, that's
listeners.
Carlos. Uh and he was right. It was so good. It was perfect. Everyone was talking about it. If you were on social
Which kind
media,
of made me go into it skeptical.
sure.
I was like, but then I was like, oh no, this does work. I get it.
Yeah. I think I caught it like the week after it got huge, but like still while it was ramping up in hype.
Yeah.
Uh like when it was still cool to like it, I guess. I was really about it. I think season one has probably my favorite scene, which is they play like this really strong musical number that isn't even like time relevant as
Music is
they
great in
music's
the show
great.
too. That's also one of the very competent parts.
They do a little bit of Suicide Squad, play a famous song just to play a famous song in season three and four
Yeah.
for me. But I overall the meaningful song choice is meaningful and it does work.
Yeah.
But it's the scene where it looks like Will is getting as a dead body pulled out of the lake, and they're just
Yeah.
like realizing that. I think that's the
And
strongest
the turn
scene.
of Hopper being skeptical to, like, oh no, I'm bought in here. I do think that's super strong.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's really a
He like sneaks in and like cuts him open. Is like, oh
yeah, yeah, 100%. It's huge. I mean, because it's like I think that's what they were trying to do in season three. They're like, oh, government conspiracy is another
mm.
aspect of this show. It just doesn't work when it's fucking Russians. It's
Yeah.
like, what
And
are
they
you
kind of
doing?
tell you from the start. Like, the part of season one why it works is you get the reveal with the characters.
Yeah.
Where season three kind of like opens up and shows you Russia's creating a portal, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. Um,
I think it's because they realized that their story wasn't believable and they needed to implant that it, it was established. It was ridiculous. Yeah, we could jump over season two if you wanted to, because I have just as much to say
yeah,
about how bad season three is as I do about how good season one is. Uh,
yeah,
one thing worth mentioning: Steve Harrington, my idol, my god, my king.
yeah,
He is the name of our group chat. Me and
Nice.
my high school friends. Uh, we are just he especially season one where he's the surprise hero. And like this random guy who's just kind of like a little bit of like a douchey like the bad choice in the love triangle, right?
Right.
Uh
What then they brought
mhm.
Billy to be later.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Uh it's just it works. It works. He works for me. Especially the Dustin stuff in season two. Somehow they just kept making this guy the most likable possible. Uh and then yeah, we could talk about season three, which has a lot of Steve.
Season 3 does have a lot of Steve, which is probably some of its strongest parts.
Hmm.
Steve and Robin are probably the strongest part of that show.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, we just keep adding new people, and a lot of them are to just be joke machines.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Robin is the one too many for me. Like they should have.
see, I don't. It's not Robin. It's the little sister, Lucas's little sister. That's the one
Oh,
too many.
that's yeah. Honestly, I think so. I think if Robin was the last character you added, it's like okay, and then one person in season three, and now we're done. Then I'd be like, okay, I'm cool with that. Uh,
Even Murray, I get to an extent in 3 because you kind of need, if you're doing the Russians thing, you kind of need someone to pull you into that. Like,
yeah,
I kind of get it. I don't like that he's there, but like, I kind of understand if that's the if that's the villain you're making, why you would need someone like that. But
let me tell you, man, the season three and season four, every time there were Russians, I was just like, what the hell are we doing?
yeah,
Stay in Indiana. Like,
right.
even, like, and we go to California in season four, and I don't even mind that too much. But
No,
Russia? Dude, it's like,
yeah,
what on earth are we doing? That goes so far away from everything I like about this show. It turns it into
no.
like
It's like if
fucking
you're watching
Avengers.
Twin Peaks and they're like, oh, and all of a sudden let's check in with the Twin Towers.
Yeah, it's just like, uh-uh.
It's like what?
Yeah. They do go away from Twin Peaks plenty in Twin Peaks, by the way, which is not
I
something
mean,
I'm a
yeah,
fan of.
but
They do it in the new
yeah.
season. They did a decade later, two
Okay,
decades.
I didn't watch the new one.
Yeah, the old ones, the treat.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just bigger picture. Uh, like season three, the Russian stuff. I don't know. What did any of it work for you?
The Russian stuff, no. Any of season 3, yes. Like I said, that scene, like when
Hmm.
she comes out, that alone probably wouldn't make you a D.
Yeah.
That scene alone, because I mean, it's pandering, but it's at least done well.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it is. But it's
um,
you
yeah.
finish your thoughts.
I don't have Max doesn't have a ton of character growth in that one. Season I don't necessarily have as much of an issue
Hmm.
because I know it leads to character growth, but I guess in a bubble, there's not that much that happens there.
Yeah.
Lucas and Dustin fighting over doesn't really work because not that much happens.
Yeah.
um,
I remember my brother reminded me of this because, like I said, I watched season one once. I
mhm.
didn't even believe Max joining the group back in season two. Like I now that she's like bona fide and like in it, I'm like cool with her. And obviously season four, like she's maybe the best part.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I guess
season
it's season 2 where they're fighting over,
yeah,
not 3.
season two, I just don't. It's just she exists to create conflict and like be,
Yeah,
and it's like I don't know. Season three, I think they flesh her
yeah.
out,
You're
but they
right.
don't give
I was
her.
mixed. I was slipping there.
Sure, sure. No, no. I mean, you're right. Max is a very interesting character. Max kind of becomes almost like a pseudo lead.
Yeah,
Especially
the
we'll
most
talk about
interesting
season five.
character in season 4.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
most interesting. Um,
Yeah. I think in season three, Max becomes like this uh she has things happen to her. Like she doesn't get growth, but she gets fleshed out. She's like acting as like the first female
she's
friend
not just the
for
girl in the
11.
party.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just
She like exists as like a person a little
Yeah.
bit.
Having 11 have a female friend is a
Yeah,
nice
it's
moment.
good
Whatever.
moments. And it's helps
Get
define
the kid
11.
logic stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
Um,
But overall, yeah. It's here's the thing with me for Stranger Things is I every season it feels like new writers. Uh
yeah.
maybe season 1 to 2 less, but it's like it's kind of giving like the Star Wars sequels, like the 7, 8, and 9, where it's just like,
Right.
okay, so here's what happened last season. How do we pretend this is what we planned all along, right?
Right.
And I say that I don't think that's true with the Vecna stuff. I think I believe the Duffer Brothers when they said this. After they created a show for season 1 with some idea of what was going on in the backgrounds. They got approved for more seasons, and they said, if you let us do 5, we have this plan. And I believe Vecna was that plan, right? Probably the
Yeah, I
Mind
could.
Flayer too. So outside of that, like the character growth and like the tone and the settings and stuff like that, I don't. Every season it just feels like
Yeah.
the
Season 3 is
consistency.
the most action comedy where it's like we got to do the Marvel thing where we have a big fight and people
Yeah.
are doing cool stuff and making jokes. Like, yeah.
And listen, I get it. You have to have like the highs, in a dark story. I think that's what they were going for is like kind of a tonal like top of the hill in season 3 out of 5. Like, oh, this is going to be when Stranger Things is its brightest and everyone's going to think of
Yeah, they're
this.
kind of getting their wins and things. I
And
get it.
and that's the defense I gave season 3. That's why it's not a D for me ultimately.
Yeah.
Is because uh it's strategic in that tone. They bring the tone darker in season 4 and even darker in season 5, right? That's the progression I expected. It's never as far down as season 1 because it can't be.
Right.
It's like that's over. But it felt like part of the plan. It was just like the biggest, like the worst sprint in the relay race. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 Uh
There's
yeah.
some things that work, but yeah, it's. And then season 4,
Yeah.
I think works better. I think, like you said, there's the needle drop moments that it relies on a lot. I mean, I was fine enough with the running up the hill, but like, Metallica song,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, was a
Yeah, it
little
felt
much for me.
cheesy.
But he was another character that it's like, oh yeah, you write this character, that's exactly what the fan base is going to like to kill him. Yeah, okay, I saw
Yeah.
that coming.
I really liked Eddie mostly because he was me. He was exactly
Yeah,
me. He was
which
a
was the point of
yeah.
what.
Probably they're like there's got to be some like guitar playing like
I
jean
think, yeah,
jacket wearing dungeon master out there that will fall in love with this character. He's probably
yeah.
got
I think
long
that's a lot
hair.
of the audience. I think
Yeah,
that's
and
a
I'm
lot
like,
of
oh,
the audience,
that
which
actually
is
is me. Yeah.
right. Which is why I kind of don't like it. I like him, but I know I like him because they really want me to like him.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
I lose belief in it a little bit. Like
yeah,
as
yeah.
he exists less
When
of
you
a
make me start
character.
meta thinking about the characters, you kind of already lost me.
He even gets this like really weird introduction scene in the cafeteria that just did not
Yeah,
work for me at all. And it's just felt so monologue-y and bad. It's like it almost made me just like swear off the character immediately.
yeah,
But like they kind of win me back by the end of the episode once they show what they're trying to do, what he
right.
is, right? But yeah, the whole thing in season 4 of being like, hey, this character you like and you recognize yourself in, he's a freak and the town hates him. And it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, sure. But
Yeah, I think
also,
it makes sense to touch on like Satanic Panic with the
yes.
D&D stuff. Like it does make sense that you
Mhm.
will want to do that at some point. But
I liked that they did that. I'm not certain
right,
about the execution. I felt
right.
like it could have been done
That's what I
better.
said. I liked the concept of Jason and things like that. Like I don't.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. He's fine. It's like I get it. Like your girlfriend ends up fucking mangled
Yeah,
in like some random dude's trailer. Like you're gonna I believe that guy would go crazy and that he's as homecoming king. He's persuasive
right.
enough to at least get like the other like letter jackets like to come with them on
And I
this.
don't hate like Lucas doing the sports thing and thing. Like I
Yeah,
don't hate that. It's,
no, it works. A lot of season 4 works for me. I think
a lot of it does.
I think there is a lot of season 3 that it needs to weave itself away from, and it does, but it needs to do even more. Uh,
Yeah, I think season 4, if they had less characters, would work for me.
yes,
There's just too many characters where, like Robin, some of the brightest parts of season 3, which I obviously don't like, I don't care about at all in season 4. Jonathan, his whole character is just stoner, I guess, right?
in this
That's
season,
kind of
yeah,
it. Which I don't mind him like going through some things and whatnot, but he doesn't because they don't have time to.
yeah,
And that's my problem with a lot of the characters. It's like I see kind of what you're trying to do. You don't do it because you don't have time to, but I see kind of what you're trying,
yeah,
and I get that.
yeah,
um,
literally. If it wasn't, I don't know how good this show would be with a worse cast, man. Like that's
they do well. Like I said, that's part of my problem.
Mhm.
The acting is super competent.
Yeah.
The visual super confident. Not as much in 5, but we'll get to that. The music super competent. So when the other stuff is kind of incompetent, it extra stands out to me. That's
Yeah.
like that's why you get a C minus, right? You get a C minus because you're so competent in 3 parts and absolutely fail in some more.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man, it's we literally because I'm watching this with my brothers. They hate it, by the way. They hate Strange. They're having a
all of
hate
it.
watch. They're begrudgingly admitting that season 4 is better than season 3. That's where we're at.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
and but we literally broke down. It's like it kind of just feels like as a whole, season 4 doesn't come together. That's the problem. It's like there's good moments. The acting's good. The like music choices can be good. But sometimes like the editing just doesn't happen. It's like episode 2 or 3 where like this like really scrawny like nerdy guy is like kind of joining Nancy on like a trip. Like she went, I think she was like working for the paper.
She's like being a reporter, right? And things like that
and
stuff.
and he like starts to walk into the road like tempted by Vecna, and then it cuts away for 30 minutes and then it cuts back, and I'm like, this is the tension of this is one thing. My brother's biggest critique of Stranger Things is to create tension they just cut away, they don't actually create tension. And with this guy, it's like whatever happens next, him getting like crumpled by Vecna, that should have happened 30 minutes before it did. And
Right.
it's like,
And that's kind of my problem with the whole like save hop from Russia stuff. Is
dude,
that's kind of just that.
yeah,
It's like, oh, the stuff you're interested in. Don't worry, we're gonna do this Russia thing that I didn't care about.
seriously. Oh, dude. I think the
Um,
show goes up a letter grade for me if you just cut all the Russian stuff up out.
yeah, and Joyce is what some of the best character in the show.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'd be better if you cut her out of that show, that season.
yeah, yeah.
Hop was in season 1 one of the best parts. I think you lose me. I think after 2, I'm like I stopped caring about you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I really liked him
he
in
has a
season
character
1.
arc at the end of 2, which is good. He has a good character arc after season 1 through season 2. And then they're like, okay, people liked that. Let's just try to do that again. But he's cooler this time.
I just
And that's just kind of what they do each time after that.
I just
And
wish they stopped leaning on him as like the badass, and just because like
right,
the emotional beats from season 1 with
right.
him
That's
were
not what
really
worked for me in
solid.
season 1. Right,
Yeah.
season 1. That's not what worked. Was he being a cool whatever? You
Yeah.
know,
No,
special
because we're
forces guy.
introduced to him like waking up with a cigarette and a beer. Like it's not
Right.
it's I don't consider this guy a badass. I consider him kind of pathetic and like needing to
Right.
take this shit more seriously. It's the emotional barrier that's interesting, and they do have that. They just don't do it enough.
Yeah.
Like that's it kind of
Nancy kind of becomes that too. She just becomes like a Sarah Connor a
Yeah.
little as well.
it's unfortunate, man.
Again, probable problem of too many characters. You can't have her be more than that.
Let's talk about some of the major characters here. Definitely I'm with you on Hopper and Nancy. Will, I want to talk about a little bit. who kind of for two
Yeah.
seasons doesn't have much going on, but they do
Right.
hint towards a. Not hint is capital H.
Yeah.
They allude towards like feelings for Mike, his best friend,
Right.
and
Which they
how
very much clarify in 5 and 3.
yes,
But
uh, first two seasons he's just kind of like the victim, kind of a perpetrator in the second, but then isn't really given much to do, and it's kind of like,
no,
what's their
after 2, he's
plan?
kind of just like he's kind of there. I mean, I guess I like the concept of I don't remember which season it is, but everyone's kind of moved on in their lives a little. They've got their girlfriends, they've got their other
Mhm.
interests, and he's like, I missed 2 years of my life.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, I was gone for a year, and then I was like taken over for a year.
Mhm.
Why are we not doing those things? I want to have our fun time where we're playing D&D and we're whatever, and other people have kind of moved on a little.
And they're
I
like,
like
we
that
don't
as a
play
concept.
D&D anymore. And then next season,
Right.
they're in a D&D club.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, whatever. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I
that's,
agree. That's tough, but yeah.
yeah.
I don't hate that as a concept.
Mhm.
I don't think they do anything with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm with you. They don't do anything with it. Like that scene, like that all came out of one scene in season 3 where he's like, "What? Come on, guys! Like, hang out with me." And yeah, it was
Yeah.
motivated by mostly just wanting to be around Mike.
Yeah.
Getting that one-on-one time. That's also his thing he's battling in season 4 and 5 is like ultimately he
Right.
just wants to be around Mike, and like that's the frustration there. But
Mike, who might be the least likable of the group.
Mike is just kind of, I don't know. He's
Season
like,
1, Lucas is probably the least likable,
yeah,
but then I think Mike becomes it.
yeah. It's just, I really don't know what they have planned for Mike. Mike is just kind of became just like a one-dimensional like love interest for
I also
L
think
at this point. And it's just,
in the later seasons, his acting is some of the worst of the group.
yeah,
It's still good, don't get me wrong.
yeah.
Everyone still acts very well, but I do think he's probably the weakest of that crew, which I guess we have to address because it's everyone's complaint is like the ages of people. I don't even care about
I
that.
don't. I really don't. We can
I don't
address
care
it
at all
by
about that.
saying we don't care. They're like in their early
Yeah.
20s. It's whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. There's you watch a million movies where high schoolers are 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
I can have enough dissonance from that. That part doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
My complaints are the other stuff. He
Yeah.
could be the law in high school, right? He's
There's
old and I don't care.
there's plenty to complain about. Yeah. I didn't get to say it. For this is for anyone who skipped to Stranger Things. I did have one thing I absolutely wanted to bring up, which that my first thought when I saw Wolf in Pokemon Unite was this is the law from Video Game High School. Uh,
There's his win in 2016. I think is what kind of cemented him as leaning into those heel moments.
yeah.
Because there's a moment where like he makes a play, like, and he knows it's gonna be good,
Mhm.
and he does a look to the camera and like a little smile, whatever, and looks directly at the camera,
Mhm.
and people ate that up, right?
Yeah, of course.
Especially this is early age, so I think he's like, all right, I can do that.
Yeah, we love a showman. We won't stick on this because obviously we closed the segment out, but I had to say that.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, I think you just said the law and then I jumped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so Will's messy. Mike is I just feel like they don't know what they're doing. Mike
He
is
doesn't
like
really have any character
hot-headed.
growth.
Mike doesn't have character growth. He kind of just keeps having a season where he's like, I'm being a dumb kid who doesn't understand women. And then by the end he says, okay, I don't understand women. I'm sorry. And that's what he's done for 3 seasons.
Which is
This,
kind of also Hopper.
yeah, which is kind of also Hopper. So yeah, Elle's just surrounded by these men who are just like, I don't understand you. And she's like, I'm just being me. And then they're like, okay, I'm
Right.
sorry. And that's been happening with Hopper and Mike for 3 seasons. And then every
Yeah.
time it's
They're
like,
like, oh, you could have feelings too. I guess I can understand that a little.
and they do
Never
it
mind.
sort of
I don't
well.
understand that anymore.
That's even kind of like Jonathan and Nancy's like fight in season 3.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're a woman and I don't get that, and she's like, you're poor and I don't get that, and that's it. So I don't know. Every once they only had like one scene like early on with like Joyce talking to Elle. It was just so much better than any time it was just like these dudes trying to be talking to her, which we should
There's
definitely
also the
talk.
running joke that I don't know if Will has ever interacted with Steve.
Yeah, I think he does one time in season 5, which is really funny.
Okay.
Uh, and it's literally like well, what does that mean? And then he continues the explanation. They
Yeah.
do it just to do it. It's so funny.
Oh, that's kind of season 5 at all, which we'll get to.
Yeah. Uh, let's talk about 11, the big star of the
Yeah.
show. 11, for the most part, works for me. But I lose track of her character moments because everything else is there. It's like,
Like I said, she ends up being the Goku, so
yeah,
everything has to happen before she can happen.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's over.
yeah,
um,
exactly. And then she loses her powers, and then no one believes it.
yeah.
And then she gets it back. Uh, that stuff. Yeah, and I think I like 11 more than I like the story reveals attached to her, you
Agreed.
know? Because 11 is just like, I was tested on in a lab for 20 years and I don't understand what I am or who I am. And that's
And
just,
that is more interesting before they're like, and then they're trying to like copy this guy and make
mhm.
it weird. But, you know,
Yeah,
that's where it falls apart to me a little. But
yeah. It's just,
where it's just kind of like a pseudo abusive relationship with a father figure in a lab, like that I didn't mind.
yeah,
But
yeah. And then now it's like loving, almost like in season 4. Like they try to bring it
yeah,
back. I'm like, don't. It was fine, guys.
you can do you can do a complex emotional whatever of you were abusive but you were still family.
Hmm.
Look at VGHS for an example of how that
Yes.
can do well.
Yes. The
I
surprisingly
don't think they
emotionally
do that.
intelligent VGHS. Go watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, which is why it's going to be that line in the sand for a
Yeah.
lot of shows. um,
Yeah.
but I don't think that it's not a Ted and Freddie Wong moment
Yeah.
where he's dying in the sand. It's not. It's a like all right, and then there's a helicopter shooting or whatever.
Mhm.
um,
It's yeah, doesn't really come together. It's altogether I like this show. I like it a lot
yeah.
and I'm excited to see where it ends up going in the end. Uh
I think we grade before we start on 5. Before we
yes.
start on thing, I think we grade Stranger Things as a show before 5.
Yeah. I think I would give Stranger Things as a show a B minus. Or
Yeah, I was
even
thinking
even a
B minus.
C
Yeah,
plus maybe.
I think season 1. You're not a C minus show with season 1, even if that's the no. Season
I
1 is competent enough that you're at least in a B.
B
But I think yeah,
minus
B
is the
B
grade.
minus.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. B minus is the grade teachers give when they're like, "You're doing okay,
Yeah,
but keep your eye on the ball." Right? It's like this
right.
could turn for
There's
you.
something here. There's
Yeah,
something here. You have a million spelling mistakes in your essay, but the concept's there.
yeah. It's like a light threat, a B minus. It's
Right,
like it's like if you don't like tighten your
right.
act up, this
With a
could get a
couple more
lot worse for
drafts,
you.
this
Yeah,
can be an A. But
yeah.
um,
That's B plus. That's what B plus is to me. B plus is when you go like you could really do something with this here. You just gotta invest yourself. B minus to me is
yeah,
like it's like a bit more trying to like intimidate work out of you. It's like you
yeah, that's fair.
gotta. It's like you could get into the C range. And
Yeah,
I know that you don't want to be. You're Stranger Things. You want to be considered one of the best. Uh,
yeah,
so I placed that very intentionally at B minus because if season 5 doesn't end up popping off,
yeah.
then it's gonna get down in the C's for me for sure.
Yeah,
It could
exactly.
get
Depending on
it.
season 5, you could be a C plus or you could be a B plus.
It could
That's
go
kind of the range of
C
the show.
C
I don't think it could go
minus.
to an A. I don't think it can go to an A, just with the middle stuff.
I
Maybe.
maybe we'll feel it out. And speaking of which, you said B minus.
Yeah, I think let's lock in B minus
Let's
for
log in B
Stranger
minus.
Things 1 through 4.
Our current lowest score. But B minus isn't a bad score. Stranger Things, don't worry.
No,
Uh,
we're on a scale of everything else has been some of our favorite things.
yeah, and we don't have to talk too much about season 5. We've kind of said a lot about
No, I
our
have a good
thoughts.
amount of notes, but yeah, I think we've
Yeah.
talked about a lot. My first note:
Hmm.
Lucas's hair is awful.
Yeah. He says he likes his hair
Um,
the most these past 2 seasons. I think the world disagrees. Uh, it is time relevant, but
four isn't bad.
Mhm.
5 doesn't work. uh, you got to line stuff up. You know?
Yeah.
It's not lined up, which
Yeah.
is I think the problem. My next note, I wrote a lot. This was more loose consciousness notes as I was
Sure.
watching this. So my next note is starting scene doesn't look like will, looks like won't.
He is won't. He looks so
Yeah.
different. He's got like the Gen Z like bang curly
Yeah.
hair thing in
It's not will, it's won't in the
Yeah.
first scene.
Yeah, he's the kid who came back to from summer break looking different and better. So congrats to Will. Everyone's talking about it.
And then my next note is why are they adding another main character with Holly? It's like we already have too
Seriously?
many. Why?
Oh my god.
But my next note is Wrinkle in Time is great.
Oh,
You should
okay.
read that
I will.
series. I mean, it's a YA series, so
Yeah.
you're gonna run into those natural issues, but it's good. So is it 5 or 6 books?
Mhm.
It's solid. Um, so much exposition is kind of a next thing, which
Yeah.
I think we'll talk about more. Because that's a big part of it. Mac's dream scene could have been an episode itself,
Mhm.
but there's too many characters that you have to wrap up, so you can't have it be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like that could have been so good of like her going through the different scenes and like if that was its own episode, that could have been so good. But it's like a little segment of an episode because they have too much to wrap up.
Once
with,
again,
like,
that's how you fix
13
this show.
characters.
You cut characters.
Yep.
You kill Hopper.
Hop ready to sacrifice him for the 12th time.
Yeah.
That's my next note. Speaking of,
Just
and my next one is wild that they brought back the failed spin-off character from season 2.
wild. I don't know what they're thinking, man.
The next note is Will Evan.
Hmm. Interesting.
Well, just because they turned Will into 11 as well.
Oh, I thought that was like a ship name. I'm like, that seems...
Not a ship name. I'm not really a shipper person, generally.
Yeah, definitely not with this crew. I'm with you.
At least with episode 4, we break the retreading similar stories, glad some mystery and not just action comedy.
Mhm.
Feel like what makes Stranger Things is the unknown. To me, the explanation of the strange inherently is going to be worse.
Sure.
And we've talked on that. That's
Yeah.
not new conversation. And then yeah, if it ended at season 1, but with every answer, it kind of gets worse for me. We've talked about all that. That's kind of the end notes.
Yeah, I definitely think that season 5, in a good way, feels like what they've been wanting to do for 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
Ever since season 2, it's felt like they've been kind of like impatiently tapping their foot, waiting to finally get to do season 5. And if I feel it, this feels very
Yeah, in
intentional.
season 5, that's
Everything's-
why
Yeah.
I gave it like a BB minus.
Yeah.
For that reason. I think it is doing things better, but
Yeah.
it's still there's too many characters too. You're not going to get an A with as many characters. You got to wrap up.
I think
It's
I'm
just
gonna
impossible.
I'm gonna say B plus. I think it feels very good.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just. I have issues with it. I don't know why everyone's still in that town. I don't know why that big fissure in the earth. The next scene we see in this new
And
scene.
the security guards like that meme of the guy just kind of like waving his hands as security and like, okay, you go by.
Yeah,
You
it's
go by. that's the security they have in the lockdown town.
seriously. I'm so that conceptually I'm a little lost. I don't think I'm sold. But keeping everyone in Hawkins is ultimately something they should have gone with. So I'm not too upset at it. I'm like, if this is what we have to do to keep the story in Hawkins, I'm happy with it, man. That is
Yeah, I'm in the same
okay
place.
with me. I'm glad there's less
I don't
worry.
even dislike some of the new characters. Like I like Holly enough. I like what's his name, Derek enough. But I'm also just like, stop adding characters, please.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Holly, I think something's gonna happen to Holly, and then She's not gonna be there for like the final movie or something. And she's just kind of the damsel. I think that's ultimately what it's gonna be. Uh, and then I don't know. They're just setting.
I think they're going to pull on a lot of Wrinkle in Time story, which I guess I'm not
Yeah.
necessarily going to get into, but
I'll have to go
I think
read that.
yeah, that's what they're doing to an extent, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll go read Winkle in Time then. I guess I've been half meaning to, sort of. It's just one of those things. Uh, I think Dustin is a standout this season so far. I think actually he's
Yeah.
surprising me with how like distant he's being is really working for me. I think he's
Yeah, I
acting
don't
well
like.
at
I
it.
think he's some of the best acting in the season.
Yeah.
Is Justin. I like Robin again a little more this season. Like I said, I
This is
didn't
my
really care at
favorite.
all about
Yeah.
in 4,
Mhm.
but I like she's the best part of 3, and she's one of the best parts of 5. They just in 4 were like, I don't really know what to do with you, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Robin is the best. I love Robin this season. It's season 3. It was clear they were going for like a love interest-esque story. That's obviously
yeah.
not what ended up happening, and it felt pretty template. Season 4 was I am a joke machine, and that didn't work for me. Season 5, her conversations
Robin
with
and Nancy dynamic doesn't work for me generally, which I
yeah,
think they tried to lean on for 4.
I think it's just one of those things where it's just like in a group of guy friends that they just try to push the two women together and be like, be friends.
Yeah.
It just gives that. Uh, but I like her and Will a lot. I think that
Yeah,
works. That
I
like
agree.
kind of queer
It's some of the
mentorship.
best Will stuff we've
Yeah.
had.
Oh, easily the best Will stuff. And I feel like we may be getting a little less Will as the season goes on, but I'm happy with what we got.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get they kind of seem to be shifting who's important around season to season. I hope they do that like chunk to chunk, episode chunk to chunk. Like maybe getting
Agreed.
some Lucas finally could be fun. Lucas hasn't had a goddamn thing to do in 4
At all.
seasons. Uh,
5 seasons.
5 seasons. He still hasn't. He's
Season 1, he was just the like, come on, guys.
literally
This is dangerous. Why are we doing this? That's kind of all he is in 1.
yeah. Which I guess
I
he
guess
gets
the most he gets
he
to
does
do
have
is
an
4.
arc. He becomes more confident. You know, he gets
Yeah.
away from that, right? But he doesn't do shit. It feels bad.
He's the most side character of
Yeah.
the side characters, I think.
Definitely.
The main side characters.
Hopper and Elle. It's just more of the same. Joyce.
More of the same.
More of the same. More of the same for the most part with everyone. Will, and Will's the standout. I like.
Which I think is just a time thing.
Yeah.
They can't give growth to everyone. They don't have time to. There's too many characters to try to give growth to, so you have to make a bunch of characters either one note or the same
Yeah.
to give growth to Will, or whatever.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. That is
The
the same
buyer's
problem.
parents, they actually get some good moments, which is
Yeah.
good.
The dad tries attacking the Demogorgon, which I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, dude, go for
The
it.
mom too. She
The
breaks
mom
the
too.
bottle and yeah.
Yeah, solid. Uh, really good. The scene holding Holly under the bathtub really worked for me. Surprise,
It
surprise.
goes back to some of the thriller suspense stuff, which is
Ev-
what was missing.
Yeah, every time they go back to horror or like character emotional beats, it is the best
Yeah.
part of the show. I know that those things have to be led up to, and you need to set the tone before you do it. You can't just have constant tension. That doesn't work.
Which is why, like, the dream scene, if that was a whole episode,
Yeah.
would have been great.
Would have been great. Whatever, man. Guess not.
Yeah.
Not in
But
this
yeah,
show.
that's why I gave it like a B minus. I don't know if I think it's better than season 2, which I gave a B.
I think it's
That's why I
as
didn't go to
good
a
as
plus.
season 2 for me so far.
Right.
If
So that
not,
would be a B.
if
for
not
both.
better. I'm honestly just holding off on giving it A minus, because I don't know where it's going. I need to know where it's going.
Yeah.
I don't know. But all this being said, with all the criticisms we've given, I trust the show to kind of stick the landing, which is saying a lot for a TV
Yeah.
show. Stick
Fair
the
enough.
landing enough, maybe not give
I
us the fleshed out characters we want, but
Yeah. I don't think there's possible that they're going to give a satisfying character growth conclusion to every character.
no.
I think there will be a generally satisfying ending to the story.
Yeah.
I don't think every character will have the moment they should have. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying every character needs to be wrapped up with a bow. I don't necessarily want that. Look again to VGHS.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think every character. I don't think I trust that in the remaining time they have, they can possibly give satisfying arcs to everyone. Um, which is why I think I'm a little lower than you on this season. But
And,
I
yeah.
don't distrust it. I'm not distrustful.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is gonna be, I don't know. It's just gonna be stuff that's left up to us to decide, right? Which is unfortunate for a long form TV show, but what you gonna do?
What is
But
your thoughts if they end it like a Dark Towers, like a I guess Lost to an extent, if they're just like and the whole time they were just playing a D&D game or
I'll hate
something
it.
like that, or like yeah.
Unless they give like a full episode to it, and like really do it. Like if the last episode is like a 2 hour movie or something. If that whole thing is explaining how it's a D&D game, if they do a good job, I'll let them do a good job with it. I don't think that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, what if the end of season 5 before movie wraps up everything and you're like, what are they going to do with the movie? The first 30 minutes of the movie is just them finishing, like they close up their D&D, pack that up, and it's just the like after. Like I would actually maybe be into that.
Now I kind of want this to happen. That's actually really intriguing.
I
Yeah.
do agree, if it's the last scene I would hate it. But
Yeah.
if they did give some time to it, I might be able to be into it.
Oh my gosh. I don't want like it was all a dream, or was it? It's just like, don't do that to me. Uh,
Which I don't hate the ending of Lost as much as people. I dislike.
Mhm.
There's in the same way of people hating this show on the character age. There's other things I dislike about Lost, not the ending.
yeah.
But
And
that's a whole separate conversation.
And for the record, I don't need everything to be like explained to me in a show, right? It's
No.
more like if you
In fact, I think
Yeah.
the more they explain about this, the less I'm liking it.
Yeah. So I think it's just about choosing your battles, you have to show more than you like explain, but you do have to make sure you have like what you wants to show and what's important to show. Like that's what's getting the spotlight, right?
The explain is a Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Right? You can do a lot of work by not explaining.
Mm-hmm.
The second you start explaining, you have to explain it to a satisfying explanation.
Yes.
I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
They started explaining too much, which means they have to conclude those explanations. If it was just this is magic and a weird world, yeah, fine.
Yeah. We've talked about it before. Like I don't know if on the podcast, but if you are going to have magic in your world, you have to give a really good explanation, and that has to be core to your story, or you have to never touch it at all. Right? And that's also
be
fine.
Star Wars, or you gotta be Sanderson.
And that's also fine because sometimes it's about the notes that you don't play.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the real purpose of this podcast. The entire
what are we locking in as a grade for 5?
So I said B plus.
I said B minus. So B.
B. Also
B.
second lowest, right? But that's fine. B's not a bad grade.
Yep.
Yeah. So just gotta set the stage one more time for what we're about to talk about because it's very hard to explain. Stranger Things, the first season. Brian David Gilbert, famous internet personality, kind of a renaissance man of memes, does like a whole bunch of different things. He'll be on Dropout. He'll do videos for Polygon. He did Vines back in the day. He'll be cooking videos. It's just whatever. He does whatever he wants to do, and he does a good job every time. He
Pokemon
did
trivia. He
Pokemon
hosts
trivia.
now.
Yeah. Which fun little meeting of the worlds there. He started doing that in this last month, I think. Uh,
It was right before Worlds.
right before Worlds.
The
Oh, well, then I don't know.
Because Spraggles was the first video he was on.
Good stuff.
And Glitch City, who I told you to watch Wolfie Come Perish.
Yeah. So, he did something called Stranger Sings, a backing track to the first episode of Stranger Things. You mute Stranger Things, you press play on your phone the same time the episode starts, and you let it
Which
run.
was easier to line up than I expected it to be.
Yeah. Because he does like a rhythm clap and then says go, like 1, 2, 3, go, and it does work. And it doesn't. Yeah. And it's a musical rewriting of the first episode of Stranger Things that has zero respect for what the show's actually going for. And with that, I wanna hear what you think, Dalton. How this
Yeah, I
went
guess
for
my
you.
elevator pitch to people about what it would be is like, do you remember? It wasn't quite early YouTube. It was like level 2 YouTube days where there was like the bad lit readings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was kind of that, where it was like
Yeah.
it was kind of that, but a full episode,
Mm-hmm.
and then also like into I guess those bad lip readings did do musical as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like that to to its mixed with like a Mystery Science 3K sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that sort of vibe. Which was a blast. I mean, Brian David Gilbert is a genius in his own way. The
Mhm.
music is better than it should be. There's I kind of my notes for this was just kind of a lot of the funny moments.
Yes.
Hopscotch is the glue. Moonlight, daylight, gaslight. Dabbling in the devil's tongue.
Yes.
And Ringo is the anti-jazz. It's kind of some of my notes.
Ringo. Why would we want to kill Ringo Starr? Because Ringo Starr is the anti-jazz. So now the actual content of what we're doing, they have rewritten it so that the four group of friends is actually a boy band, and one of them is experimenting with adding like jazz dubbing over their songs, and this becomes personified as the jazz man who kidnaps in Stranger Things Will Byers. And and then like Hopper is a talent agent, and the teacher is doing like education rap the whole time, and it's just kind of the whole time. Here's what fascinates me with content on the web is the entire time I'm thinking someone made this entire thing for free. Right? Every time something like funny happens or interesting or like a surprisingly well-written song starts playing just because like
the main one they had of the boy band, so good.
It's actually
like, that song is so
Time
good.
of Our Love by the Smarby Four. Actually an
So
incredible
good.
song. The Time of Our Love is like a fresh bouquet.
Yeah.
It's
Only
actually
beats lunchtime for my favorite time of day.
every time I watch this. This is my fourth time watching it. Once on my own, once showing it to my friends, once to my brothers, and then once making you watch it. So that 10 people have watched this. This doesn't have as many views as it should. It's like 200,000.
Yeah.
That's really the thing with me with this. Is like this is so good. Has so much effort put into it, and it's so unique, and no one knows it's out there. And that's the magic of the internet to me, right? That is where it's magical. It's like someone threw their heart into something, and and that doesn't even necessarily mean it had to explode, but it is out there, and it will always be out there.
It's kind of the antithesis of the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's not playing the game of
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's why it's not as much. It's like, hey, play this at the same time of this other show that you need a separate service for, and we don't have a flashy thumbnail, and we don't have whatever. Just it's here because it's a love letter to, I guess, some of the things we listed. We're having fun.
Yeah, it's a love
Which
letter to like musicals and jazz and Stranger Things and
right,
like probably bad lip reading and like
yeah,
things like that. They said if you haven't done this kind of thing before. And I'm like, what kind of thing? What are you even talking about? They said at the very beginning.
right.
I'm like, and I spent time, trust me, because I was obsessed with this when I first found out about it. I spent time looking
That's
for
why I
other
kind of got
stuff.
towards like Mystery Science 3K because it's
Yeah.
kind of there's like commentary tracks are a thing.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
that's like director's commentary or like the like a Mystery Science Theater commentary tracks where you're kind of laughing at and things like that.
Yeah.
That was my guess of what that meant. Is
Yeah.
that it was kind of a commentary track, but a really interesting twist
Yeah.
on that.
And sometimes you'll have I don't know, like Karsten Rundquist, like a YouTube like film guy will have a watch along, right? And they'll say
Right.
like, okay, jump
Yeah,
in.
React content is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much a thing now.
That's out there, but nothing like this. Nothing like this
No.
on the entire internet. And just I've said it before. What stands out to me? Things that are unique, things that are different. This is unique and different.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing on the internet that I am more impressed by, just even conceptually existing than this. Uh, it is really good.
Interesting.
Now the not all the jokes land, and not all the songs are bangers,
No.
but it doesn't have
No.
to, right?
No, and part of that is you have to fit into what's happening on the scene.
Hmm. Yeah.
So,
Uh, it's just so much fun. But it is only 40 minutes. And
yeah.
so that's why we had the Stranger Things pinned onto it, because I don't know how much there is to actually say about it, other than go watch it. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if that elevator pitch seemed interesting at all, I think it's worth watching. It's got enough fun one-liners alone, plus the one song. That's it, worth it.
yeah.
Um,
If you watch
like
for,
you said, it doesn't all land, but it's not. That's not a problem because like it's 40 minutes, right?
yeah. Someone said
um,
like if you like in a movie, if you laugh like 8 times, then it's a good comedy, right? Like the
right.
humor succeeded. I've laughed at least like once a minute in this. It's like it just really works for me. Uh, this especially works if you like have any knowledge of like music theory and music production and jazz, which I don't know if you do.
Right.
But
Not. I'll watch like I'll watch like video game music theory videos and stuff like that. But a
sure.
lot of it's just like, oh, that's cool. I don't like
Yeah.
process it. I'm just like, I believe you.
There's just
It's
it's
kind of
just
as far as it
so
goes.
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna scare more people away from it than bring more people in. But I'm like, hey, if you have just even an inkling of how jazz works, then this is actually really funny in that way too,
Yeah.
surprisingly. You wouldn't expect it. Uh and just very clever with like using the editing and
Yeah.
like the way
Which was a complaint that your brother had generally of
yeah,
things.
yeah.
But using that to its advantage is a super interesting.
Yeah. There's one thing where it's like Falcone entered the door despite the legally binding do not enter sign. And it's just like it's just to fill up 10 seconds of like Mike walking into his sister's room. Because there's a
Right.
big do not enter on the door. And it's just stuff like that all over. Uh
Absolutely.
oh my God. If I had millions of dollars, I would fully fund this. I would make sure that we at least got the final episode of Stranger Things done as Stranger Things. And they just inferred that 5 seasons of like stuff had
Yeah.
happened since. If we could get at least that to happen, don't donate to our Patreon. Just give hundreds of thousands to Brian David Gilbert
Yeah.
for that project. Uh,
Or if you donate to us, and write in the note to donate this to Brian David Gilbert, we can try to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, well,
So I'm sure it's going to get cut.
I,
The
yeah,
middleman's going to take their cut twice. But
Patreon will love it. Donating to us, donating to them, they get twice the fee. Uh,
yeah,
yeah. It'll take so many man hours to get $5 over to Brian David Gilbert, but hey,
yeah. But
uh,
if you really want to, I guess you could do that.
yeah, we'll do it. It's so special. Um, yeah. Who was your favorite character?
Who was my favorite character? I don't know. I mean, it does a better job than actual straight or not better, but a different job of Stranger Things. Of the core unit is more of a core unit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So something it's hard for me to like discern because it's like, oh, I just like that the boy band group,
Yeah.
as a core.
Mostly I like the Smarmy Four. I don't
Yeah,
identifying amongst them, I don't know. Uh,
exactly. That's kind of where I'm at.
yeah.
As well. I think it's fun to have I'll like watch them and be like, oh, I want to join in on that, and that happen at the end. That's kind of a fun way to have that reveal work. Or
Yeah.
like Elle singing their part of the song as
Yeah.
they're like walking through the forest together.
It was so good. Uh, like an actual like really solid ending to the episode.
Right.
Which yeah. And then the credits play out and we get the full version of Time of Our Love by the Smarmy Four. And it's the best song ever written, maybe. Um, my favorite character is Bringo Starr, no relation. Uh,
Yeah.
who dies in this episode. It's really tragic.
Yep.
I like the pew of the gun also.
Yeah.
Does a really good job of subverting.
There's a lot of the little mini gags that make it the one liners and the little visual gags and stuff.
So if
Not
you
visual, but
yeah,
audio gags.
so it's just a reminder that like making this does like is its own like success. It doesn't have to get hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube. It existing is impressive, and like you can't take that from it, right? Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah.
this is running a little long, so I think we should probably give it a grade and get to our questions. Not our
Yeah.
questions. What do we
So
call it?
our homework.
Our homework. Yeah.
Um.
And I could
So yeah,
talk
I
about
think
this
I
for
gave
hours
it.
and hours, but
Actually, you give out your grade first because I feel like I've given
Mhm.
my ones first on
Sure.
these.
Uh, I think if the jokes consistently landed, it would be an A plus for me. Right now, it's an
Okay.
A. Uh, it's just there's a moment or two where you're just like, okay, this is a bit that's not fully landed for me, and it's going on a bit long. But I can't give it anything lower than an A. It's
Yeah.
just it's too precious to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at that A minus B plus range.
Hmm.
The reasoning being, one, I tried to compare it. Is this in its whole better than season one of Stranger Things as its whole?
Hmm.
And I think Stranger Ones as its whole was but better, which I gave an A minus.
Hmm.
And I think my reasoning for that is while this is super impressive and hilarious, it really only hits on the comedy side.
Yeah.
Where I feel like to really get an A high A for me, you kind of need that emotional and that comedy or whatever.
Hmm.
It's very successful at what it does, but it's one part of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of that only limiter to me.
I think there's another aspect that's impressive, which is the innovation of it, and then also the music works, right?
Right.
But I do think that none of those may elevate it past season one. I certainly wouldn't blame you. Uh, I would say that puts it at second place above House. Is that correct to say? Uh,
Yes, with you being so quite high on it, I think
yeah.
that's fine. I think it's in the A minus regardless. But
Yeah, so I'll let you pick because I think this was similar. B minus, B plus, and A. I think is what is the split House and this was,
right.
right?
Um, See, the thing is, I think this is higher than House for me, but lower than VGHS, and VGHS is lower than House on our list. That's what makes it hard.
But it is
So I
lower.
guess if we're going by that, if it's, I think, yeah, the reason I guess VGHS was higher is I think I laugh more at VGHS as a whole,
Mhm.
but that's a separate conversation. But I guess as comparing it directly to House, I think I would put this slightly. I think I would put this above House.
Interesting. Yeah, this sounds already like if we ever do a regrading in the future, VGHS may end up being even higher. But as things are, we've got at the very top, Pokemon competitive, and then
Yep,
House,
video game specifically, VGC.
yeah, and then House, and then Stranger Things.
I
Going.
think I would do Stranger Things above House.
Oh, sorry, Stranger Things, and then House. Uh,
Yep.
yeah.
And then VGHS, that rounds out our A's. And
Mhm.
then B was our season 5, part 1.
Mhm.
And B minus was Stranger Things as a whole.
Good stuff. Uh, that sounds right. I feel like I'm realizing in this conversation how much you love VGHS, and that
I think the more I think about it, the more I end up like, it makes me laugh harder than a lot of other things, and it made me feel more than a lot of
yeah,
other things. And when I try to compare a lot of shows, I'm like, well, did it make me feel more than that?
yeah,
Like having that as the line is going to be interesting for
yeah,
me.
definitely.
Um,
I think if we ever do a rescoring, getting this at least above House would make sense
yeah,
because I don't think I do really love Stranger Things that much,
yeah,
but like the for this to be what's compared against is its own thing.
yeah,
But that's hey, the scores are what they are right now, right?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
you ready?
Guess with that, let's give out our homework, and I
Okay,
can kick us off.
please do.
So I guess I'll preface. I'm gonna start like, what are your winter traditions?
Ooh, my winter traditions. Uh, I don't really do too many traditions. My family does Christmas. We celebrate Christmas.
Right.
Sometimes we would celebrate other holidays growing up just for like not for religious reasons, just because like oh we have friends who are Jewish and our parents were like
Right.
here's Hanukkah. I'll go out with friends on New Year's Eve. It's kind of the regular stuff, just like that.
Yeah. Do you like
Maybe
put up a tree? What do you any
ooh,
of those sort of things?
I interior decorating around the holidays does not change. I've got the same
Nice.
bowl of lemons over ironically on my table over there. Uh, yeah, it's things I don't know. Well, traditions aren't really don't really come around this holiday season anymore.
Yeah.
That was a younger in my life kind of thing. How about you?
Well, that kind of gets me. So I obviously we grew up in somewhere cold and
Hmm.
snowy, and
Yes.
I've moved to somewhere that's not.
Hmm.
So I have found myself being like, to feel like holidays, like winter.
Hmm.
I've got to do like, yeah, we put up a tree and things like that.
Yeah.
We have a tree. It's a fake tree that's actually it looks like a palm tree. It's a little small one,
Yeah.
which is fun. Things like that because I feel like I need to make that effort to feel that winter that doesn't really exist here.
Hmm.
Which I don't mind. I some of my favorite part of season is like that first snow,
Hmm.
but I'm fine with not having that for months and months.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but to get that winter, I have a tradition that is going to be the assignment for you.
Hmm.
Is I every year try to go ice skating.
Ice skating. Oh
So
man.
your assignment is to go ice skating.
And I could. I'm in Cook County, so I could just make my way to the one. Where would that be?
There's a lot of rinks there. I've got one on island, so
Absolutely. Oh, that's so
I've been to
cool.
a few rinks out there because I used to very regularly skate. Actually, that was I think late high school. Um, like every Friday, a
Hmm.
couple of us, Brendan, myself, and Mohit would go ice skating.
Yeah. I think you guys invited me to that, and I went once, and I like hugged the wall.
Yeah.
So I'll this time I'll
And a friend of
try.
ours, he would have a rink in their yard that you would be able to do sometimes. But that was usually, I don't think you generally wear skates there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was definitely a rink in the yard. I forgot about that. Wow. I did ice skating lessons growing up, so it's not like I don't know.
Okay.
I just it's
I was self-taught, but I did it enough, and I played hockey briefly. Um,
yeah.
Men's league, not like anything. I wasn't good, but
That sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. I'm so down. I haven't ice skated in
yeah,
years, dude. And I think I did it with a college group half a decade ago. That was the last time, man.
I would
I
go regularly in college because the school I went to, we didn't have a football team and stuff. The sport was hockey.
hmm
Um, so obviously I wasn't going to like make a team or anything, but I would go regularly, like a stick and puck or just free skate. And then I played for 5 years, including grad school when I was at college. I did broom ball, which was on the ice, but it's not skates.
hmm
Um, and I was pretty good at broom ball. Um,
Okay.
I would average, three or so goals a game. That was decent.
I don't understand why hockey isn't just broom ball. It just works better for me. Uh,
Well, there you go.
I'm so
Don't you
happy to
want to
do
be
this,
on
man.
little sharp swords?
Yeah, don't you? God, that's really what it is for me. It's the idea of falling in the way no one does, where I land two hands first and then my legs go up, and then now I've got no fingers. That's not how it works. That's not how
A
bodies
big part of
fold.
skating is learning how to fall.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Once you know how to fall, you're not afraid to fall, which I
hmm
think is that first big hurdle.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'll be on Google. Uh, maybe I'll go with family or
And I
something.
do think we should attempt to get some sort of video as a
Definitely.
bonus.
That could be fun. Uh, all right. It'll be a big gap between you who taught yourself and me who hugged a wall 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But hey, we're gonna do it, man. I'm excited. All right.
I'll go at least once. I might also go, depending on the weather, when I go back with in-laws. They're in Minnesota, so depending on the weather, a lot of times we'll go skating on like lakes, sort of things. But that depends on if they're frozen enough to do that.
hmm Yeah, that makes
So I
sense.
might go a couple
Have you
times.
ever fallen in the lake?
No, you don't go unless it's frozen enough to
Okay.
to be on it safely.
Yeah, you're smart. You're smart. Uh, I don't know. I picture like a Looney Tunes thing where you skate in a circle unknowingly, and then a big hole drops. Uh, so extra bonus points if you could get a Looney Tunes ice hole to pop up,
Okay.
especially in an ice rink where there's no water underneath. Uh, yeah, that's especially impressive. Hey Dalton,
Yes, sir.
how much One Piece can you watch in a month before you get sick of it?
Um. Well, what are we watching? Which one? One Piece. Are we watching that base anime? Are we reading the manga? Are we watching the live action? Are we watching One Piece, the fan edited to make it a little better pacing? What are we watching?
We are going to experience One Piece the way everyone experiences One Piece the first time, which is just press play on Netflix. Uh,
My first experience with One Piece was actually when I lived in the city of Chicago. So I was young because we moved out to the suburbs.
mhm.
And it was just, I caught a random episode on TV. And that's, I think, the way, and I was hooked, And then eventually, I think it was like fourth grade, I got the first volume of the manga. And then I got a couple of the volumes of the manga. So I knew the story from the start from some of that. And then it would just be random. You'd catch a random episode on Toonami Black.
hmm Yeah.
So that was actually my experience with it. But yeah, I'm into just starting it from. I was actually in a rewatch that I like pick up every once in a while, and I was like at like Marineford, which means nothing to you, but
It doesn't. No. I was in the giving mood, and I wanted to give you one that I know you've been trying. I feel like you would never be like Tommy. We're watching One Piece, this 1000th episode, be behemoth. But this podcast had to have me watching One Piece for the first time. It had to. And so here it is, all wrapped up for Christmas. And there it is, the One Piece itself.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. You always have relevant merch just kind of in arm's reach, and I think that's
Oh yeah.
awesome.
The Lego set is actually pretty sweet for the Going Merry. So this came out pretty recently. The Lego set for the Going Merry.
That's super cool. I have no context for what this is.
That's their ship, and
Okay.
it's got like little pieces that come out and stuff because Legos are very good at like
Mhm.
being playable.
Yeah.
I think that's
Legos have upped their
it's
game,
got.
man. Things are like disassemblable, if that's a word.
Yeah.
I'm gonna commit at least to the first arc. Even though the first arc of One Piece is uh like 50 episodes. I'm gonna do it. Uh
I would say my general whatever for One Piece is if you get through Arlong Park and you're not feeling it, it's not going to be for you. If Arlong Park is making you feel something, I think you're going to be in for a good ride.
how many episodes in is Arlong Park?
Let's see. I also wouldn't be opposed to it spans episodes 31 to 44.
Okay.
I also wouldn't be opposed pivoting this to reading the manga, which was going to be a little bit better paced.
No.
But I'll leave that to you.
We're taking it as is. It's
Okay.
well, everyone's, I understand that the manga is probably better, as it often is. We're gonna watch the anime because the anime is there's more discussion to be had. At least around the pace. I wanna understand what that problem looks like. I think this could even be a double conversation about pace. Everyone's favorite word in discussion about like critiques. Everyone says like, "Oh, it was good. It was just badly paced. The story was weak with the pace." I don't feel like people don't even 100% understand what they're talking about, right?
And I don't think the beginning is that poorly paced
Yeah.
for One Piece. I think it gets there once the anime catches up to the manga.
hmm
And then you're buying time a little bit.
So if this,
Because
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
Because then you're buying time. So you're like, well, I need to make this scene last a couple episodes. And honestly, the problem One Piece ends up having in later whatevers is it's not necessarily the action itself is paced poorly, but you have okay, here's the action, and then we're gonna cut back to that same scene as a recap later, and then we're going to so it just like redoes some of it to spread it out.
hmm
It's just kind of, and then you've got the recap at the start of the episode that's the similar stuff, and then you've got so
hmm
that's honestly more part of the issue,
Okay.
more than the individual chunks being poorly paced.
Yeah.
But
Well, we'll see.
I think make it to through Arlong Park, and I think that's a good minimum goal.
Okay. I do think it's going to be that whole first arc, that those 50 episodes. I
Yeah.
especially with the fact that I partially work from home. I could press play and work, and
Yeah.
pay attention when the 5 relevant minutes of an episode are happening. As you as easy to infer. Uh I think I uh am fascinated by the idea that this is one of the best animes ever, but everyone has the same complaints. And like it's just very interesting to me. Just
I think it's
from
interesting, and
a
we'll save it to
yeah.
the actual conversation. But I think the interesting thing to me is I think people focus on there's so much to get caught up that's impossible. And the issue is it's about the journey. And I think that's the point.
Mhm. I think it's
You're
also
not supposed to get caught up quick.
yeah.
You're supposed to enjoy the journey. That's the point. And I think that's part of the issue is the mindset of that.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I think you're right. I think you're right. I think we're going to watch One Piece, watch as much as you want. I think you don't really have to watch it in the same way I have
I'll
to
at least
watch it.
rewatch through that, but I can speak to it. I mean, I've seen it
Exactly.
and I've read it a couple times, I think. So we'll see. But
Yeah.
I'll at least get through Our Long Park and a rewatch.
Yeah, and so we shall. It's gonna be interesting. This is one of those things where if this was a shorter thing, I would have watched it years ago. It is not. It's like 35 seasons. I think I saw on Netflix. I guess that's 35 arcs. We'll feel it out. We'll see how it goes. And with that, I think
I think that's the bell.
yeah, there goes the bell, and I think that's it. Thanks everyone for sticking around. This is a lot of fun. We love doing this. And I'm already excited for next month. I'm already excited to
Absolutely.
talk.
Tell us what we got wrong, what we got right in the comments and things. We love that discussion. And suggestions for future ones, because it's great.
And if you want more guest appearances on this show, call my phone, and you'll get on for 10 seconds. Yeah, there you go. All right. Do we have a sign off? I feel like we had a sign off, maybe.
It was just that's the bell and thing. I think it's kind of our sign off. There's the bell again.
There's the bell again.
Want us out.
Bye, bye, bye.
All right. Thank you.